Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:35 on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 3 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, a Packer charged.
I'm Julia Fellow. Hundreds have died after mudslides hit Nepal.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, starting off with an accident on southbound 43 to westbound 94 in the Marquette on the left shoulder. A crash there, so that's going to be affecting your ride. Delays already starting from Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette. Also, delays continuing all the way down towards the KK River. Westbound 94, we've got backups from 27th Street to, 27th Street to Hawley Road. The eastbound side's got some backups as well from 84th to 68th and back on the brakes from the stadium to 35th. Southbound on 894, backing up right through the zoo interchange all the way down to Oklahoma, and then back on the brakes from Beloit Road down and around the Hale to Forest Home. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 63. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 78. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, battery and criminal damage charges are now filed against Green Bay Packers running back Josh Jacobs.
I hear yelling and screaming, things being thrown. It's plotting to this location. I have an open line, possibly a male-female.
Hobart police arrested Jacobs on May 26th on accusations of domestic violence. He spent the night in the Brown County Jail. His initial court appearance is set for November 17th. If convicted on all charges, Jacobs could face up to 18 months in jail.
Milwaukee police need help finding a man wanted in connection to a sexual assault on the north side. They responded in the early morning hours on November 1st. Last year, near Holton and Center, the man allegedly entered the bathroom during a party and sexually assaulted the victim before taking off. He's described as an African-American man with an athletic build and lower taper haircut. You can see photos and surveillance video at our website, WTMJ.com.
At least 350 people have died in Nepal and Tibet after major flooding and mudslides drowned entire communities. ABC's Karen Travers.
An ABC News analysis of the video and satellite images shows that the deadly wall of water traveled an incredible 62 miles downriver. Now a desperate search and rescue mission for the more than 1,000 missing, including hundreds of foreign tourists.
According to the State Department, some 90 Americans may have been impacted by the flooding. 3 were already rescued.
There's a new report to restart diplomatic talks between the United States and Iran as the conflict nears its 6th month. News Nation's Robert Sherman.
We had the Prime Minister of Qatar on the ground in Tehran today in order to see if there are any avenues to restart talks between Iran and the United States. There's been a flurry of diplomatic activity in recent days. Iran and Oman meeting. You also had Pakistan's army chief there as well. They've been another key mediator in all of this. But you heard the president speak just a moment ago that at this point they're not really interested in negotiations. They're focused on the pressure. The military option is still on the table. And at this point, no plans of releasing it.
Qatar said the foreign ministers also discussed the emerging proposal by Iran and Oman to open the shipping route through the Strait of Hormuz.
A teen from Twin Lakes is facing charges after he allegedly sexually targeted minors through Snapchat.
19-year-old Austin Scaletta admitted to asking a 13-year-old to perform sexual acts over the platform. He also allegedly saved 9 explicit images and videos of a 16-year-old in the Snapchat conversations. He's facing 12 felonies for possession of child pornography and exposing a child to harmful material. The sheriff's office says none of the incidents happened at Wilmot High School, where Scaletta used to volunteer. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Our state could reconsider who qualifies for veteran benefits in our state, with a particular focus on people who served in the National Guard and Reserves.
A legislative study committee heard that the state's current rules can produce very different results depending on the benefit. Dane County Veteran Service Director Dan Connery says some service members can qualify for federal veterans benefits, but still be excluded from certain programs in Wisconsin.
It's complex and it's confusing, and it's, a lot of times we have our head scratching. We don't, at our level, at the county level, we're not the adjudicator.
The committee will now examine those gaps, with possible legislation being introduced next year. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
New curriculums coming to Milwaukee Public Schools to help students read better. Elementary schools began using new literacy materials in January. MPS Superintendent Dr. Brenda Casalius.
This is not a one-year initiative. Improving literacy requires sustained focus, high-quality curriculum, professional learning, and consistent implementation. I'm excited for our scores to be released by the state in September. We're hoping that we will see some growth. Obviously, we have a long way to go.
Casellia says the district will continue tracking student performance and adjust its approach based on what the data shows.
Coming up, the Miz makes the mound tonight.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 3:04.
MPS Families. School starts Tuesday, September 1st, and we're excited to serve you. If you haven't enrolled your child yet, now is the time. Milwaukee Public Schools offers free breakfast and lunch, the latest reading curriculum, and programs to fit every learner, including bilingual, language immersion, Montessori, special education, and more. Enroll today at mpsmke.com/enroll or visit us in person at 5225 West Vliet Street, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Don't wait. Enroll today.
Hey, baseball fans. When the game's over, keep the fun of the season going at the award-winning Lake Lawn Resort on beautiful Delavan Lake. Trade the bleachers for the shoreline and the always-on-the-go schedule for total lakeside relaxation. Celebrate your own MVP moments with waterfront dining, golf, relaxing spa escapes, and family fun all season long. Just a short drive from Milwaukee, it's your home run getaway. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com and come find out for yourself why everything is better at the lake.
Have you ever looked in the mirror and just didn't feel like yourself anymore? Maybe your clothes don't fit the way they used to, or you don't like how you look in them. It's more than that. It's how you feel walking into a room, avoiding photos, or not feeling as confident as you used to be. Over time, that can wear on you. But here's the truth. Losing weight is one thing. Feeling confident again and keeping the weight off, that's what really matters. At Milwaukee Weight Loss, they help people lose 20 to 40 pounds naturally in about 60 days without injections, crazy workouts, or prepackaged meals. More importantly, they show you how to keep the weight off so you can feel comfortable in your clothes, confident going out, and actually like what you see in the mirror again. Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scavidi, and I started Milwaukee Weight Loss last year. I don't just feel lighter, I feel more confident. I've dropped a couple waist sizes, actually 4 inches. I've got more energy, and I just feel better about myself. It's time, right now. $200 off now through August 31st. Do not wait. Schedule your free consultation now at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Never a better time to feel better about what you look like and how you feel. Results may vary.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. After being struck by a line drive in the back during Wednesday night's win over the Mets, Brewers starter Dustin May was forced to leave the game after one pitch. Brewers general manager Matt Arnold with an update.
They're going to have to make sure all the swelling goes down. But they did the x-ray. It's negative. And, he'll be able to pitch as tolerated. And so hopefully it's just he's missing a couple days and back in the rotation sooner than later.
The Miz takes the mound for the Brewers tonight in the series finale. Our coverage starts at 5:35 on WTMJ. And Packers tight end Tucker Kraft continues to practice as his team works with general manager Brian Gutekunst towards a contract extension. The Packers wrap up the preseason tomorrow night against the Arizona Cardinals. Quarterback Jordan Love is not expected to suit up.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:08.
I'm Jim Croft. I'm not a politician. I'm a husband, dad, numbers guy, and a small businessman. I'm a regular guy with 2 jobs, and neither one is funded by taxpayers. I met my wife Marina while I was studying abroad in Mexico. One dance, and that was it. We came back here to Milwaukee and opened our dance studio. I'm running for state senate because between groceries, housing, and healthcare, 2 jobs barely fills the fridge for working families these days. Send me to Madison, and I'll work to lower the cost of living and make healthcare more transparent. And I'll cut your property taxes, make life more affordable for southeastern Wisconsin families, and to make sure that our kids have the same opportunities that we did. My one job will be to make sure that your one job is enough to support your family again. I'm Jim Croft, and I have a message for the Madison politicians that got us into this mess. No quieren bailar conmigo. You don't want to dance with me. Paid for by Jim Croft for Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
All right, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you hanging out with us. So we're getting ready for the show. We're getting ready to come in. The show is all stacked. And guess what? Shortly before 3 o'clock, news comes down involving a Green Bay Packer. That's where we're going to start.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
Josh Jacobs, he has officially been charged with battery and criminal damage to property, both misdemeanors that could put him behind bars for 18 months. So it could send him to prison. This all started May 23rd. Police were called to his house in Hobart after a 911 call where yelling and swearing could be heard. The victim, we're his girlfriend, told police she and Josh Jacobs got into a physical struggle after an argument involving their phones. It all stemmed from her looking at his phone, saw he was talking to girls, then he wanted her phone, then he wouldn't give it back. She is now alleged that Jacobs grabbed her, followed her into the garage, threw her to the ground, caused her to hit her head, and then took her phone. Police reported seeing redness on her face and neck and a bump on the back of her head. It also alleges that Jacobs later damaged her other phone. She had 2 phones. Investigators subsequently recovered surveillance footage from the garage where this allegedly happened. And according to the complaint, investigators say the footage corroborates key portions of the victim's account, including that altercation. Jacobs taking the phone while she was on the floor, and approximately 40 seconds later, appearing to damage it. Now, the Brown County District Attorney charged Jacobs with battery and criminal damage to property. It could have been worse. It could have been felonies. He's now making his first court appearance November 17th. And so that's going to be right smack in the middle of the Packers season. So now we talked to some people upstairs what may happen with the NFL. Maybe a half dozen game suspension, or
could be.
We don't know at this point.
The NFL is likely to suspend him. They could wait until this plays out also to suspend him. We're on top of this story. We'll bring you expert analysis and commentary and new details as we head through the afternoon. The second thing, Wisconsin residents are working more than one job, more so than in many other states. A new report ranking the country's hardest working states from Wallet Hub shows that Wisconsin is the 20th hardest working state. They look at things like how many jobs they have, how much they're paid, how many hours they work on average. It also notes that 8% of Wisconsin's full-time workers have a second job, have a side hustle. That is the third highest nationwide. The third highest. It looks at things like how much vacation time people take. Wisconsin residents, by the way, use more of their vacation time than other states. So what are the hardest working states and what are the least hardest working states according to Wallet Hub? Well, the hardest working states are South Dakota, North Dakota, Alaska, Hawaii, and Wyoming. Those places where they work the least hard, Nevada, Ohio, New Jersey, Oregon, and Michigan.
There's also an update with the Josh Jacobs situation. Do you want another one? It's just going to keep coming. So under NFL's rule, the minimum suspension for any domestic abuse is 6 games. If any of these charges are proven to be, Jacobs is looking at a lengthy suspension.
And even if they're not proven in court, he could get a lesser suspension. The NFL's done that many, many times, no matter what happens and how it plays out.
And number 3, John, scammers are taking a new approach to impersonating banks, using video calls to steal your private information. Wisconsin consumer protection officials say scammers could switch to a regular phone call to video, then ask victims to share their screen and point at their phone camera at their computer. They can expose passwords, security questions, and bank account information. Officials say never share your screen or login details. It could just get worse and worse. Instead, contact your bank using a trusted phone number. If you're targeted, report it immediately and notify your bank.
All right. Boy, this is just happening a mile a second. So we also just got an update that the defense attorney, I'm looking at my text. I'm reading this. Jonathan Lavoie will join us coming up here at 3:45 to take us inside what this means, what this looked like, what these charges are, and how they arrived at that. We'll also look at how this might impact the Packers running back room and what that means.
You know what my question's going to be to Lavoie, the defense attorney, is why this took so long. Is it normal for something like this, a domestic incident, May 23rd to now? What are we, August 27th?
Yeah, it did take a long time. It says in the criminal complaint that they're trying to process the video footage from the surveillance system. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. We're all just speculating, but that's a very good question.
Or maybe that he's a big star.
That could be, too. Would we be treated the same if this were us? Another good question for Jonathan Lavoie. It is 3:14 at WTMJ. We're sponsored by Diversified Wealth Strategies. Your life, your goals. Visit dwstrategies.com.
Many people feeling close to retirement ask themselves, do I have enough?
Am I missing something?
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, we provide clarity during our complimentary, no-pressure consultation. We're independent advisors using big firm tools with a boutique-style approach.
And no crickets. We stay in touch so you're never left wondering.
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, let us show you how to capture the upside, limit the downside, and feel good inside.
Visit dwstrategies.com.
Securities and investment services offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. member FINRA SIPC. Osaic Wealth is separately owned and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent FLC at Guelph.
John Mercure here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. No two homes are exactly alike, so why would every window and door solution be the same? At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, premium quality doesn't come in just one price point. Whether you're replacing a few windows, remodeling an historic fixer-upper, or building from the ground up, Pella offers gorgeous, high-quality, and customizable solutions for every unique situation. You'll never have to settle for something that isn't right for your home, thanks to custom designers ready to help at every step. And it doesn't matter which windows you choose, you'll receive the same Pella craftsmanship, attention to detail, and commitment to quality. That always includes honest advice, straightforward pricing, Pella certified installers, and one trusted team standing behind the work. We've used that one trusted team. They are top tier. Quality doesn't have to mean one size fits all. It means finding the right solution for your home. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
From singing varsity to jump around, and of course,
touchdown, Wisconsin!
The traditions of Badger football live here. Join us Sunday, September 6th. It's the season opener at Lambeau against Notre Dame. Our coverage begins at 4:30 on your home for Wisconsin football.
For all the Badgers action this season, go to Wisconsin's radio station, 620 WTMJ.
Traffic and weather begins with Debbie Lazaga. Hey there, Deb.
Hey there, John. Southbound on 41, we've got some backups from Good Hope Road all the way past Appleton Avenue. Northbound slowing down just before Capitol Drive up to Hampton. Southbound 43, we still have this crash on the ramp from southbound to westbound in the Marquette. Westbound 94, that is. The left shoulder is blocked right now with that. So obviously seeing delays stretching all the way back to Capitol Drive with it. We've also got some delays just before Good Hope Road to Bender Road. On eastbound 94, delays now from 84th Street to 68th. Back on the brakes from the stadium to 35th. And westbound's backing up from 27th Street all the way to Hawley Road. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 63 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 78. Saturday, partly cloudy, warm, a high of 81. Sunday, partly cloudy, humid, a high of 86. Monday, chance for rain, a high of 86. It's currently 73 degrees. If you're just joining us, Josh Jacobs has been charged with battery and criminal damage to property. The Packers running back is expected to appear in court in November. We will go through the criminal complaint with defense attorney Jonathan Lavoie coming up here at 3:45. There's another event, Julia, that's happening this afternoon that is really cool. I think this is such a big deal. The USS Wisconsin is going to be a nuclear submarine. It is going to be an incredible ship. There's actually a celebration of the USS Wisconsin taking place coming up here at 4 o'clock at the War Memorial Beer Garden in Milwaukee. We're excited to be joined on the hotline by Lisa Phillips, the president of the USS Wisconsin Association. Lisa, good afternoon. Thank you so much for being with us.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is such a cool thing. How lethal will this submarine be? What can you tell us about this submarine?
Well, I don't speak for the program office, but one of the missions of the association is to share some details about the mission of the submarine, and it's all about strategic deterrence. So these Columbia-class submarines will replace the Ohio-class submarines, and they form the sea-based strategic deterrent leg of the strategic triad. So they're the most survivable leg. They go undetected underneath the sea for months at a time and assure our adversaries or anyone who's considering an attack on the United States that type of an attack will not succeed.
That's stealthy. Wow. Okay, so it's expected to join the Navy in the 2030s. What are they doing between this time and then?
Well, it takes a really long time to build these submarines. The lead ship of the class is the District of Columbia, and she has 7 separate modules that have been in various stages of construction. They've all made their way to General Dynamics Electric Boat. There's a significant partnership agreement between General Dynamics Electric Boat and Huntington Ingalls Industries in Newport News Shipbuilding. And Newport News has built the bow and the stern and several other components, and those have been delivered to General Dynamics Electric Boat in Groton, Connecticut, where they'll all be assembled with piping and fitting and electrical connections and whatnot. So making great progress there. USS Wisconsin is the second in class, and she's currently at 35% construction is the official figure that the program office is providing. I think it's probably a little better than that, but that's the latest figure that is publicly available.
Lisa Phillips is president of the USS Wisconsin Association. 560 feet long. I'm a really naive guy. I figured this thing was maybe a couple hundred feet. I knew it was pretty big. That's almost 2 football fields, if you can picture football fields, if you're up at Lambeau Field. My goodness, these things are huge, Lisa. I guess that's part of the reason it takes so long for them to be constructed, huh?
That's exactly right. It's the most technologically advanced submarine ever built, and it's the largest submarine ever built by the Navy. They are amazing, awesome machines.
So it's also going to be nuclear-powered, nuclear reactor for propulsion, making it it's going to be under for months at a time. It can, unless if they want to go up for more food and things like that. Can you describe what a nuclear reactor for propulsion is like for a submarine?
No, I can't. That's really not my area of expertise. But I can tell you that the reactor core on the Columbia class is the first of its kind. Typically, on the Ohio and the Trident class submarines that these Columbia class are going to be replacing, they have to go stand down for months at a time in midlife to get the reactor core back up to speed and regenerated. And these new Columbia class submarines have a life of ship reactor core, which will never require refueling. They're supposed to last for 40 years. So the USS Wisconsin, SSBN 827 would be in service until the 2070s and never have to stop and repower the reactor core. And so that allows 12 Columbia class submarines to take the place of 14 Ohio class submarines.
Wow, this
really
is amazing stuff. Very, very quiet. That's one of the key attributes. This is the third major naval ship named after Wisconsin. The battleship right now is off the coast in Virginia, I think it is. How tremendous an honor is this to have this nuclear submarine named after our great state?
It is a tremendous honor, and I that's a big part of our association's mission is to share that honor with Wisconsin citizens and get everybody enthusiastic about having this third Navy ship named after the great state of Wisconsin, after the BB-9, as you alluded to, the battleship from World War I, and then the BB-64, the battleship from World War II, and also the Persian Gulf War. So SSBN 827 USS Wisconsin will take her place there in a great place of honor. Wisconsin has a really important and significant naval history from the 28 freshwater submarines that were built by the Manitowoc Shipbuilding Company in World War II, which were responsible for rescuing 26 downed aviators and sank 132 Japanese ships during the war. Those freshwater submarines were delivered on time or early by the Manitowoc Shipbuilding Company, where they had their sea trials in Lake Michigan and were floated 1,500 miles down the Mississippi River to New Orleans, where they were ultimately outfitted. That's a really important part of, I think, Wisconsin's naval heritage, along with Admiral Leahy, who was raised in Ashland, Wisconsin, and is one of only 4 Navy officers to ever hold the rank of 5-star rank fleet admiral. So we really want Wisconsin's sailors to know these stories. But above all, we want them to know that Wisconsin stands behind them and their families, and that's what our association is about, building that enduring connection between those sailors and between the people of Wisconsin, so that wherever these sailors go, wherever they're serving, we want them to know that Wisconsin stands behind them.
I love that. Another way you can support them is this afternoon, 4 o'clock at the War Memorial Beer Garden. This is going to be so fun. You can get information. You can check out a big replica of the submarine, and you can have yourself a cold one. It's 4 o'clock. Support our men and women in the armed services by showing up here. You don't have to RSVP. Just show up 4 o'clock at the War Memorial Center. Lisa Phillips is the president of the USS Wisconsin Association. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You got it. It is 3:24 at WTMJ. The latest on Josh Jacobs ahead, the news at the bottom of the hour, and then at 3:45, criminal defense attorney Jonathan Lavoie will be with us live. Let's check the markets, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green. The NASDAQ, wow, up 411 points, more than 1.5% on the day. The Dow was up 105 points. That's almost 0.25%. The S&P 500 was up 55 points, almost 0.75% today. Annex Wealth Management, financial planning at every level. Fee-only fiduciary all the time. Know the difference with Annex.
Just doing some roofing on another lovely Wisconsin day. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, it's just roofing done the old-fashioned way. Do you need shingles? Let's mingle, for a Wisconsin tradition never dwindles. So raise a glass, shake a hand for this old-fashioned brand. Whoop, that's old-fashioned roofing.
The Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford. It's big food. It's big fun all the time. And if your kids right now are thinking, what are we going to do these last few days? Take them to the Mine Shaft Restaurant. Hosting a birthday party soon? Yeah, that can be a lot of work, too. You don't need to cook and organize, then clean the house. How about having your party at the amazing Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford, the area's most affordable birthday party destination? Your party room is free with a world-class game room with over 70 games, including the easiest ones for your little ones. The pizza party packages are super affordable and include free game room credits. Whether your birthday party is for 10 or for 50, the Mine Shaft will host that party or your business event. It'll be the best and easiest birthday party ever. Your kids and grandkids, they're going to love it. They even have your cake. I recommend the Mine Shaft Restaurant for your next birthday party for a really fun, interactive gathering. Reservations are required 2 days in advance. Google the Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford. Click on Party Planning for all the details. Birthdays are easy at the amazing Mine Shaft.
Welcome back to Ask Hasslis.
Are your employee-free Hasslis showrooms some kind of big viral prank?
We simply let you try our selection of Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more without commission-crazy salespeople breathing down your neck.
Sure you do.
And through Monday, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of a select Sealy Posturepedic or Beauty Rest mattress, plus free next-day delivery.
So shopping at Hasslis won't make me TikTok famous?
Absolutely not.
Darn.
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasslis.com.
Sports parents know the countless hours and dollars spent on practice, games, equipment, training, travel. So when an injury happens, why don't we invest in recovery too? Vince Vitrano for MD Hyperbaric. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy supports the body's natural healing process, whether it's recovering from injury or a concussion, because it's not just about getting your athlete back on the field, it's about helping them recover for school, work, and life long after the season ends. Learn more at mdhyperbaric.com.
If you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burkhart Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find. With an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service,
You can't beat Burkhart.
Your financial life is not just about numbers. It is a journey, and Annex Wealth Management aims to help you move through it with clarity. When markets shift, it can be hard to understand what it means for what you have built. Annex offers guidance as a fee-only fiduciary firm, which means their recommendations are built around your best interests rather than commissions or product sales. Annex gives you access to a local team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, investment managers, estate planning attorneys, and client service specialists who work together to create a strategy tailored to your situation. They help clients with investment management, retirement income, planning, tax coordination, estate planning, education funding, and business succession strategies. Annex knows there's different financial plans for different stages of life, and they can help you adjust as things change. With nationwide accessibility, Annex blends personal attention with leading-edge tools to offer an experience built around informed decision-making. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Griffin's Hub. If you've been waiting for the right time to upgrade your ride, this is it. Griffin's Hub is making August a huge month to save. Right now, you can lease a brand new Jeep Cherokee 4x4 Laredo for just $381 a month for 42 months with $39.99 down plus tax and fees with approved credit. That's an outstanding way to get behind the wheel of a legendary Jeep. Or if you've had your eye on a new truck, check this out. Griffin's Hub has a 2026 Ram Rebel for just $59,340. That's an incredible $18,000 off MSRP. One of the biggest savings you'll see all year on a Ram Light Duty. Whether you're looking for SUV capability or truck toughness, Griffin's Hub has the deals to get you moving. Visit Griffin's Hub today or shop online at griffinshubchryslerjeepdodge.com. But don't wait. August offers end August 31st. See Griffin's Hub for complete details. Offers available with approved credit, lease, and purchase offer. Expires August 31st, 2026. Traffic brought to you by Pivot Work Injury Law. Worn down by work? Contact Pivot Work Injury Law today.
Hurt on the job or worn down from years of hard work? Pivot Work Injury Law helps injured workers across Wisconsin turn setbacks into comebacks. Contact Pivot Work Injury Law for a risk-free consultation.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, Packers running back Josh Jacobs charged in a domestic incident.
I'm Julia Fellow. The president signs an executive order to rename one of our Great Lakes.
I'm Debbie Laziga. Southbound on 43 on the ramp to get onto westbound 94. Looks like we got the left shoulder with a crash. So that is going to be affecting your ride. We've got delays stretching back past Capitol Drive at this point. Beyond that, heading through the Marquette, you are going to see more delays all the way down to the KK River. Westbound 94, backups from 35th Street to Hawley Road. Eastbound from 84th Street all the way to 35th. And then on the bypass, heading southbound, technically starting around Blue Mound Road down through the zoo, you're going to see delays all the way to about Oklahoma Avenue, and then back on the brakes from Beloit Road down and around the hill to 76th Street. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Here tonight, a low of 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 81 degrees. Right now here in Milwaukee, it's mostly sunny and 72 degrees.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the Brown County District Attorney has formally charged Packers running back Josh Jacobs with 2 misdemeanors related to his May arrest.
Originally booked on 5 charges, including felony strangulation, Jacobs now faces reduced charges of misdemeanor battery and criminal damage to property in a May 23rd incident at his residence in Hobart. The criminal complaint describes a physical confrontation between Jacobs and his girlfriend, resulting in her being thrown to the ground. Jacobs is due in court November 17th. It's unclear if the NFL will suspend Jacobs for the start of the regular season. A statement from Jacobs' attorney states, Mr. Jacobs respects the district attorney's office and the process it followed. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
A man from Milwaukee is cited for disorderly conduct after tripping a child during a youth football game. Mount Pleasant responded to Saturday morning to Case High School in Racine. Coaches told police the man, who was a parent from Milwaukee team, was upset with a play. He ran into the field and tripped a 9-year-old Case Eagles player as he was running down the field. Police eventually tracked the 41-year-old down, who admitted he was wrong before being cited and released. The 9-year-old was not hurt.
President Trump signing an executive order to rename Lake Ontario to Lake America. It comes in the midst of a trade war between the U.S. and Canada. News Nation's Tom Dempsey.
Literally just days ago, we saw the U.S. implement a 50% tariff on all sorts of goods sent over from Canada. Things like hockey sticks, furniture, cement, I believe, was one of those things. And that, in turn, led to Canada imposing tariffs on things sent over from the United States. And we saw some strong words from the Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, saying that America has changed and, Canada has to do things to protect itself.
Trump cannot force Canada to rename the lake on its side.
Jury deliberations underway after closing statements in the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy. Final arguments from prosecutors and Clancy's defense came after 5 weeks of testimony.
And they reference her wishes to have healthy kids, her wishes for her kids to be successful, her wishes to have a good birth.
Their mom is the one that's hurting them. Their mom is the one that's killing them. That's extreme atrocity and cruelty.
Clancy is charged in the 2023 murders of her 3 children. Prosecutors say the killings were planned and intentional. Her defense argues that she was suffering postpartum psychosis and should not be held criminally responsible.
The city of Sheboygan is covering all 15 of its flock cameras as the city moves to end its contract with the company.
The cameras were installed in 2024 to capture license plates and help police investigate crimes. But police say they learned in July of actions by Flock Safety they believe were inconsistent with the city's contract and that undermined trust in the company. City staff began covering the cameras Tuesday to stop them from collecting license plate data. The Sheboygan Common Council will consider ending the Flock contract on September 8th. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Packers are signing veteran tight end Jonnu Smith to a 1-year contract. He was a Pro Bowler in 24 with the Dolphins. Quarterback Jordan Love will not play tomorrow night in the Packers preseason finale at Lambeau Field. And Jacob Mizorowski takes the mound for the Brewers tonight in the final game of a 3-game series against the Mets. Brewers GM Matt Arnold outlines the plan for starting pitcher Dustin May.
We'll let the swelling go down a little bit, but ideally we just sort of back him up a couple of days.
May left yesterday's game after being struck in the back by a line drive on his first pitch of the night. Our coverage of tonight's Brewers game starts at 5:35 right here on WTMJ.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:35.
This report is sponsored by Diversified Wealth Strategies. Your life, your goals. Visit dwstrategies.com.
Many people feeling close to retirement ask themselves, do I have enough?
Am I missing something?
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, we provide clarity during our complimentary, no-pressure consultation. We're independent advisors using big firm tools with a boutique-style approach.
And no crickets. We stay in touch so you're never left wondering.
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, let us show you how to capture the upside, limit the downside, and feel good inside.
Visit dwstrategies.com.
Securities and investment services offered through Mosaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Hey, reminder, it is summer storm season, and weather damage can be a real issue at the house. So if you think you've got a problem, remember, Tri-County Contracting gives free estimates on any potential wind or hail damage. And here's the best part, they can always work directly with your insurance. It's Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Love your home again, even during the storm season, with Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Stock brings home the pitch, and it's a chopper up the third baseline. It's going to be a tough play. Barehanded by Bichette, throws to first late. One hopped it over there. Pratt hustling out of the box, of course.
We are joined by the host of Brewers Extra Innings and Brewers Weekly and all the other Brewers shows. He is Dom Cotroneo. Dom, so good to see you. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, it's good to get ready to get back home here this weekend.
Yeah, it is. So that play there, Pratt hits a little dribbler to third base. I've never seen somebody run so hard to first base. I mean, there was no doubt he was sprinting down to first base, was there?
I think everything got a little overblown from the reaction to Tuesday night of him getting benched in the middle of the game. I said this in post-game yesterday. There is a lot more coaching that happens than you realize at the major league level. And I think when it makes it into fair territory, as I said, when it makes it out onto the field to be pulled in the middle of the game, it's trying to send a message, right? And I think this is a culmination of things. And quite frankly, Cooper got the message. And that's all you can ask for from a 22-year-old. To see him get 2 infield hits yesterday is poetic justice, right? And then the way that the Brewers played yesterday is exactly how they're supposed to play. Hair on fire, opportunistic, and let the pitching carry you the rest of the way.
Redemption. Okay, how is May doing after he was hit by the first pitch that he did?
Yeah, exactly. The first pitch of the game, 106 miles an hour, came right back at him. Hit him in kind of the scap area, right on the rotator cuff, shoulder blade area. He's fine. According to Adam McCalvey, he's actually going out to play catch right now. What it means for the rotation remains to be seen because Robert Gasser probably was going to start on Sunday against the Texas Rangers. Maybe that now just slides to be Dustin May, and then you rearrange things, and maybe you keep Gasser in May's spot moving forward, which would be Tuesday against the Cubs. It all depends on how catch play goes and make sure that the swelling doesn't get any worse and that there's nothing underlying there that wasn't caught in yesterday's x-ray.
Wow, I thought he was at least going to have a bruised rib or something. I would be a hurt
scary.
pup. I'd be gone.
That was scary for sure. Hey, Dom, When you think about the lead on the Cubs, at what point do we begin to say, okay, we feel comfortable? Is it not until after all those games against the Cubs? Is that kind of the next big hurdle?
Exactly. I think you're not comfortable until you know what the season series lies at and when you know what that tiebreaker is, right? Because that changes everything. It kind of feels a little similar to last year. Remember, the Brewers went to Chicago for the last time facing the Cubs for that weird 5-game set with a makeup date in there. And they left there still in front in good control, but, without the tiebreaker. So there's a little bit of like, ooh, what are you going to do? Quite frankly, all the Brewers got to do is go 4-3. I mean, they could probably survive going 3-4 against Chicago in that 7-game set. So they would only lose one game once that comes around the corner, because now time's on your side. We're exactly 1 month away from the end of the regular season. So as long as you avoid a 2-5 and a 1-6, you're not quite fully comfortable, but you're certainly in very good shape as long as you stay right in the middle of the pack there against Chicago.
Well, we're feeling really good about October bound. What about the Miz? Does that make us feel a little bit better for tonight as well?
Yeah, Miz goes tonight, and I think that the way the Brewers are looking at limiting his innings while also getting him back on a regular schedule, because as we said, the calendar is winding down. If you do the math, he's probably only got 5 more starts of the regular season after tonight, and maybe even less than that if the Brewers want to really make sure he's fresh and ready to go into October. And a reminder, when you come to October, you're not normally pitching on that full extra 6-man rotation day of rest. So that's a priority right now for the Brewers to get him closer to a 5-day and maybe eventually a 4-day schedule. I do not anticipate the Brewers using Miz in short rest in any capacity in the postseason. I'd be shocked if they did like a game 1, game 4 situation and a DS, but maybe he would do a game 2, a game 5 situation. I don't know, but let context play that out. I think for Miz, continue to build on what I thought last week was arguably one of the best starts of his career, despite sitting 99 to 100 miles an hour. We're all enamored with the velocity. It's not going to last forever. So the sooner that he gets understanding of the cutter and the slider and the curveball is the sooner he's going to reach another level that the Brewers know he can still attain.
Is he going to win the Cy Young?
I think he's the hands down favorite right now. I'd be absolutely shocked if he didn't win it, because Phillies fans will point out the innings, but I say, look, they've purposely limited his innings. He's a second-year player, and yet his innings are the best innings. He is the most dominant starting pitcher in the sport, and there is not a single number that does not agree with that statement.
Dom Cotroneo, the smartest Brewers guy you're going to find. Brewers Extra Inning, Brewers Weekly. Dom, thanks. We always appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
It is 3:42 at WTMJ. Up next, you've probably heard by now, Josh Jacobs, Packers running back, has been charged related to that domestic incident in Green Bay. Defense attorney Jonathan Lavoie inside the criminal complaint. Up next.
I'm Matt Dorner, CEO of Milwaukee Downtown Bid 21. Our business leaders value downtown Milwaukee.
I'm Jonas Priesing, CEO of Manpower Group. As the global leader in connecting companies to the talent they need and people to great jobs, downtown Milwaukee is the proud home of our global headquarters. It's a vibrant community to live, work, and grow.
Get down to business at MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Jens Family Chiropractic in Germantown. Are you dealing with nagging low back pain, sciatica, numbness, or tingling, or a herniated or bulging disc? At Jens Family Chiropractic, they offer non-surgical spinal decompression. It's a gentle, targeted therapy designed to reduce pressure on your irritated discs and nerves and help your spine recover. I'm getting that done on my neck right now. Spinal decompression may be a really great option if you're struggling with those disc problems or pinched nerves, and maybe chronic neck problems like me, especially when the same old treatments haven't provided the relief that you're looking for. There's no injections, no surgery. It does not hurt. Treatments are customized to your specific condition. You're also lying down on a flat surface. Stop letting back pain dictate what you can and cannot do. Call Jens Family Chiropractic today. Schedule your consultation. Find out if non-surgical spinal decompression is right for you. You can find that number or email them. Go to jensfamilychiropractic.com. That's YENTZ, familychiropractic.com.
Borrow, don't buy. Did you know that your public library system has a variety of things you can borrow? Besides books, check out board games, cake pans, ukuleles, museum passes, video games, even electrical testing kits. Whether it's mastering a new skill, trying a new hobby, or learning a new language, your library loves to share resources with you. Access thousands of on-demand video courses with your library card. Courses can be accessed anytime, anywhere. Find out what your Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Jefferson County libraries have to offer. Learn more at getyourlibrarycard.org.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Buy one pizza today, get a second pizza free at the amazing Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford and in Oshkosh. Don't cook, don't even think about it. You don't need to clean up either. Call, order, and pick up shortly, or just walk in for your free Thursday pizza, mineshaft.restaurant.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on September 8th.
Fly ball center field. It's hit well. Grisham back. It is gone!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
Got him swinging. Throw him a curveball. It's 11 Ks for Mizorowski.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in September 8th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Hurt at work? Call Tayback for the payback. An injury at work may leave you eligible for compensation benefits, including lost wages, coverage of medical bills, or a cash settlement. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
345 traffic and then weather. Debbie Lossiga, how are the roads right now?
Delays on 41 southbound. They're stretching from just before Good Hope Road all the way to Silver Spring. And then you're back on the brakes on the bypass just south of the Zooter change, pretty much all the way down through the Hale. So keep that in mind. On the northbound side, we got delays from just before Burleigh all the way past Silver Spring. Southbound 43, that earlier accident in the Marquette on the ramp to get onto westbound 94, that has been cleared. We do still have pretty hefty delays, though, from Capitol Drive down through the Marquette, pretty much all the way to the KK River. Westbound 94 itself is backed up from about 35th Street to Hawley Road. Eastbound, you're looking at delays from Barker Road past Brookfield Road, and then back on the brakes from 84th Street to 35th. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, mainly clear tonight, a low of 62. Tomorrow, sunny, a high of 81. Saturday, partly cloudy, a chance of showers and storms at night for your Saturday, a high of 83. Sunday, partly cloudy and very warm, a chance of showers and storms continue, a high of 85. Monday, partly cloudy, very warm and humid, and a chance of showers and storms throughout the day, a high of 88. Right now in Milwaukee, it's partly sunny and 72 degrees.
Green Bay Packers running back Josh Jacobs has been charged with 2 misdemeanors after he allegedly got violent with his girlfriend during a heated altercation earlier this year. Talking to other girls was at the center of this, according to the criminal complaint. Jonathan Lavoie is the renowned criminal defense attorney partner at Kim & Lavoie, and he is with us this afternoon. Jonathan, thank you so much for making some time for us.
You're very welcome.
2 misdemeanors, battery and criminal damage to property. Tell us about the 2 charges. They could have been more severe, I suppose, but the DA looked at what he had in front of him, and these were the charges. Tell us about these 2 charges.
Yeah, so it's sort of a mixed bag for Mr. Jacobs. Obviously, he should be very happy he's not charged with felonies as he was originally arrested for, but obviously these are still very serious criminal cases. These are misdemeanors. So he's charged with 1 count of battery and 1 count of criminal damage to property. So these still have very severe consequences for him, but certainly much less than if it was the felony that the original arrest came out of.
Jonathan, this happened on May 23rd. Is it normal for it to take all this time up until August 27th to get a charging document?
Yeah, there's nothing normal in my business, but I will tell you I've had a chance to review the criminal complaint, and the district attorney's office says that the reason why it was delayed is because they did forensic evaluations of electronic devices, including security systems. When that occurs, that takes a longer period of time than just, reviewing certain other pieces of evidence. So it makes sense to me that it delayed because of all the forensic work that was done in this case.
Jonathan Lavoie is with us. Julie and I also each have a copy of the criminal complaint that we're holding. Let's walk through a little bit of the criminal complaint. You look at these all the time, and you defend folks that are charged, and this document is like part of your life all the time. When you read the narrative in here, what jumps out at you in this criminal complaint?
Well, these kinds of fights happen all the time, so it's very common for me to see fights over jealousy and over phones and over texting girls or guys and those types of things. So this is pretty standard that could obviously happen to anyone, including a professional football player. But what I think stands out at me is the video evidence might be very helpful to the prosecution in this case, because it's not going to be just Mr. Jacobs' words versus the victim, but there may be some video evidence that would say support what the girl is claiming occurred. So I think the video evidence is going to be very damaging to Mr. Jacobs, depending on how clear the video evidence really is.
So what is next? So he's supposed to appear in court on November 17th.
Yeah, so all criminal cases start with like an initial appearance, which is like a bail hearing where they will set probably a signature bond for him. He'll be released. He will not be taken into custody or held in custody. Then the matter is set over for several court dates while the attorneys kind of work through exchanging discovery, police reports, evidence, and then negotiations occur. And, the parties have to report back to the judge and let the judge know, is this a case that's going to work out with a plea bargain or an agreement, or is this going to be a trial case? So that process can take several months, and either Mr. Jacobs is going to take some kind of a plea deal or he's going to set the matter for trial.
Jonathan Lavoie is with us. We don't know if she's still cooperating or not. She was on the phone with police. How much more difficult is this case or any case if the victim decides not to cooperate?
And oftentimes in these types of cases, victims are hesitant to cooperate. So it makes the case much better for the defense if the victim is hesitant or uncooperative. But as we talked about, the video evidence might, tip the scales in favor of the prosecution, and they may not need as much cooperation from the alleged victim if all of this stuff is on video. And quite frankly, from the NFL's perspective, if the video looks really bad, that's the kind of stuff that shows up on TMZ and other websites, and that can be very harmful to Mr. Jacobs' football career. When I'm referring to the video evidence that might be present.
Yeah, and that's what's making me think, is he going to do a plea deal? Well, if he does, then he's finding guilt, and how many more games could he be suspended? But no matter what, would that video be released?
I think the video is absolutely going to be released. It's going to be public record. I'm assuming it's not going to be released immediately, but I'm certain that all the various media outlets are requesting all the discovery, and it's going to be public record fairly soon. So I expect it to be released. You guys should know that these types of cases, misdemeanor domestic disputes like this, typically don't result in serious jail time or anything like that. Usually for a first offense, these types of cases result in probation or counseling programming, those types of things. So in the grand scheme of things, this is probably not something that there's going to be a likelihood of jail time for. But I think the circumstances for Mr. Jacobs is bigger than just that because of his NFL career.
What goes into the decision by prosecutors to charge it as a felony or a misdemeanor? Can you walk through that dynamic?
Yeah, the felonies have just a higher burden of proof. So there was an initial thought that there may have been some kind of a strangulation situation, and they would have to prove that Mr. Jacobs, placed his hands or items around the victim's neck and caused her difficulty with breathing. I'm assuming the state just found that they didn't have sufficient proof for that and probably didn't want to make it more complicated than they needed to. There's discretion. The prosecutors can look at a person and say, yes, well, there may have been the potential of a felony because Mr. Jacobs has no record and he's a good member of the community and was cooperative, that there wasn't a need to charge a felony. So I think the state decided it's probably just easier to charge what's clear on the video and not try to charge things that might be more difficult to prove, particularly if the victim's not cooperative.
And he's a Packer. This is the elephant in the room,
That's what I was gonna say.
And social media is going crazy. I know that the Brown County District Attorney, if we had him on, would say that has nothing to do with this. I look at what I can prove. I look at the evidence, blah, blah, blah. You're a realist, Jonathan. Does that become a factor in a place like Brown County?
Heck, yeah. I know David Lassay, and I've dealt with him before, and I know he's in an awful position. He has a duty to prosecute cases he thinks he can prove, but he understands that he is a Packer and that this puts everyone in a tough position. So, He's in just an awful position as the district attorney for Brown County, and I think everyone's hoping that this goes away quickly and quietly, and this doesn't become a huge issue for the Packers or for the Brown County District Attorney's Office, and hopefully they can work it out in some quick way that everyone can move on from this.
How do big organizations, Jonathan, get involved in this? I mean, can they ask or go to the defense or the prosecution, the defense attorney or the Brown County District Attorney and say, hey, we're doing this NFL investigation. Can we see it before it goes to trial, or can they not get that?
Yeah, so everything now that the case is charged is absolutely open for public record. So anyone can get it, including you guys. So this is now open records that are available to everyone, including the NFL. The NFL probably was not entitled to it until the charging decision was made, but now it's been charged, and I'm assuming the NFL is going to get access to all of the evidence, as I'm assuming the media will as well.
How bad do you think this is for him if he was your client? I mean, just professionally, not even anything else.
Well, so many people get into disputes at their home, but as I think what I mentioned to you is video evidence of people acting badly is very, very harmful to professional athletes, and we see it because it's shared on the internet. It's shown on TMZ. It just doesn't go away. So I think that video evidence is going to be very damaging to him. And the case itself is not that big of an issue for him. I think it's going to result in the NFL taking some type of action here. But I think it's important to note that they did not charge him with domestic abuse-related offenses. I don't know if you guys noticed that. When you look at the charges, he's charged with standard battery and standard criminal damage to property. He's not charged with domestic violence or domestic abuse-related offenses. And I think his attorneys are going to try to spin that to make him look better in the eyes of the public.
He is Jonathan Lavoie. We appreciate it, Jonathan. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
That video is going to be atrocious. That video is going to tell the story. We sit in here with 6 big screen TVs, and we have TMZ on some of the TVs sometimes because, like it or not, they're a news source. That video is going to pop up on one of those big TVs, and it's going to be all over social media everywhere.
Ugh.
And that's going to be terrible for him. I also think it comes down to her. If she cooperates and she testifies and says he had his hands on my neck, no matter what he was charged with, that's going to be atrocious. If she decides not to cooperate and she just sits quietly and doesn't help, that helps him. What is she doing right now?
Oh,
where is her head at?
I don't know. I don't know what she's thinking. But also what you were saying was that, she's thrown to the ground. I'm thinking we're going to see pictures of her wounds and everything. And you also said she was on the ground for a while.
She was, according to the criminal complaint. And then she staggered when she got up. So did he push her? Did he slam her on the ground? Did he bang into her and she fell down? I mean, that video is going to tell us a lot of the story. It is 3:57 at WTMJ. What does this mean for the Packers potentially? Greg Matzik with us. Coming up about 4:15.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma sports station.
We're sponsored by Diversified Wealth Strategies, your life, your goals. Visit DWstrategies.com.
Many people feeling close to retirement ask themselves, do I have enough?
Am I missing something?
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, we provide clarity during our complimentary, no-pressure consultation. We're independent advisors using big firm tools with a boutique-style approach.
And no crickets. We stay in touch so you're never left wondering.
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, let us show you how to capture the upside, limit the downside, and feel good inside.
Visit DWstrategies.com.
Securities and investment services offered through Mosaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Fox and Hounds Restaurant, one of my very favorite places. I love it because the food is great. I love it because the service is great. And I love it, and you're going to love it because you Buy one dinner, you get one dinner free. There's all that history. There's the great menu with the steaks and the seafood and the surf and turf and all that stuff. But you buy one meal, you get one free. How good is that? You buy one dessert, you get one dessert free too. They've got great beverages to relax with. 20 bourbons on their bourbon list, 125 wines, the rustic bar, the 8 unique dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds cuddles the Kettle Moraine Forest near Holy Hill. The summer drive is a Wisconsin must-see. Escape from your kitchen with a free dinner at the Fox and Hounds, serving from 4 p.m. Dine early. Saturday, buy one prime rib dinner, get one free. Enjoy Saturday lunch from 11 till 2. Ice cream drinks, by the way, are also always buy one, get one free. Visit foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Reserve your free dinner. You can also get gift cards there. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
Good Karma Sports is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with Good Karma Sports, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmasports.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmasports.com.
Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
The lights get bright in New York, but this crew belongs on center stage.
Start spread.
Here's the 2-2. And Jacob fly ball to center. Harris is back. Harris at the track, looking up. It is gone! Jake Bowers with one of the at-bats of the year.
The Brewers head to New York to take on the Mets. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:35 on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 4 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: charges formally filed against a Packers running back.
I'm Julia Fellow. Wisconsin joins a lawsuit suing the Postal Service.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Eastbound 94 seeing delays from Highway F all the way to Brookfield Road. You're back on the brakes then from 84th Street all the way to 35th. The westbound side, that's got some backups from 35th Street to Hawley Road and then just west of the Zoo Interchange all the way to Elm Grove Road. Southbound 43, you're slowing down just south of Hampton and stretching all the way down through the Marquette to the KK River Crossing. It's a slow ride there. The northbound side's backing up over the high-rise bridge all the way to Locust. And then southbound 41, watch for delays from before Good Hope Road down to Silver Spring. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, clear skies, a low of 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 81. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, battery and criminal charges are now filed against Green Bay Packers running back Josh Jacobs.
I hear yelling and screaming, things being thrown. It's plotting to this location. I have an open line, possibly a male-female.
Hobart police arrested Jacobs on May 26th on accusations of domestic violence. He spent the night in the Brown County Jail. His initial appearance in court is set for November 17th. If convicted on all charges, Jacobs could face 18 months in jail. What happens next from the Packers' perspective? Greg Matzik joins us live in the studio, coming up in about 10 minutes.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice is suing the U.S. Postal Service over its new mail-in voting rule. It would require states to register every voter who is eligible to vote by mail into a new USPS database. The DOJ says the rule could disrupt this fall's election and prevent some eligible voters from receiving their ballots. The rule follows the executive order by the president issued in March to establish a national list of eligible voters. In the 2024 general election, more than 1.5 million Wisconsin voters cast their ballot by mail.
Rescue crews are now searching for more than 1,000 people missing along the Nepal-China border. A deadly current of water and mud swept Wednesday through following an earthquake. More than 390 people were killed. More than 1,400 are missing, including dozens of Americans. President Trump says the U.S. will assist Nepal.
We are sending aid. And we've spoken to the leadership, and we let them know anything they want, we'll have. And there were 50, maybe 60 Americans over there. We haven't gotten the full list yet.
In a statement, the State Department said it's not aware of any American deaths, but 3 Americans have been rescued.
A 77-year-old driver is accused of hitting and killing a pedestrian who was 75 years old. Happened last night. The medical examiner says Joyce Jenkins, 75, was hit by a car as she was crossing the street near 5th and North. She later died at the hospital. The 77-year-old driver stayed on scene, was arrested, and charges, we're told, are pending.
Milwaukee Public Schools could ask voters for more money again if the state doesn't provide enough funding.
MPS cut 264 central office positions last year, but Superintendent Dr. Brenda Caselius says more cuts aren't sustainable.
We can't continue to make cuts and not have the state step up and step into its constitutional responsibility to educate its next workforce.
She says Wisconsin should fully reimburse districts for the cost of special education.
If you write a law for 42% reimbursement for special ed, it should mean 42% is what school districts get, not 35%.
Dr. Caselius says another referendum could be necessary if the state doesn't fully fund schools. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
A nearly $900 million plan for a new Milwaukee County courthouse is clearing its first major hurdle.
The county's Capital Improvements Committee unanimously recommended moving forward with the project, which would replace the nearly century-old safety building. The current estimate for the project, $896 million, with construction stretching into the next decade. The committee giving approval in a separate vote due to the massive price tag.
We're separating it from the actual capital improvement process. It can't fit. We can't do it.
That's committee chair Supervisor Steve Taylor. The proposal heads to the county board next month, where it will need 2/3 support. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Coming up, an injured Packers tight end making a comeback.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:05.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources. Help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need, they help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
I'm Jim Croft. I'm not a politician. I'm a husband, dad, numbers guy, and a small businessman. I'm a regular guy with 2 jobs, and neither one is funded by taxpayers.
I met my wife Marina while I was studying abroad in Mexico. One dance, and that was it. We came back here to Milwaukee and opened our dance studio. I'm running for state senate.
Because between groceries, housing, and healthcare, 2 jobs barely fills the fridge for working families these days. Send me to Madison, and I'll work to lower the cost of living and make healthcare more transparent.
And I'll cut your property taxes, make life more affordable for southeastern Wisconsin families, and to make sure that our kids have the same opportunities that we did.
My one job will be to make sure that your one job is enough to support your family again.
I'm Jim Croft, and I have a message for the Madison politicians that got us into this mess. No quieren bailar conmigo. You don't want to dance with me. Paid for by Jim Croft for Wisconsin.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. After being struck by a line drive in the back during yesterday night's win over the Mets, Brewers starter Dustin May was forced to leave after throwing just one pitch. Brewers general manager Matt Arnold with an update.
They're going to have to make sure all the swelling goes down. But they did the x-ray. It's negative. And, he'll be able to pitch as tolerated. And so hopefully it's just he's missing a couple days and back in the rotation sooner than later.
The Miz takes the mound tonight for the Brewers in the series finale in New York. Our coverage starts at 5:35 here on WTMJ. And Packers tight end Tucker Kraft continues to practice as his team continues to work with general manager Brian Gutekunst towards a contract extension. The Packers wrap up the preseason Friday night against the Arizona Cardinals. Quarterback Jordan Love is not expected to play.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:07.
This report is brought to you by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
Family, experience, local. I feel these words define Siding Unlimited.
I agree. We can add integrity, complete, and available.
Absolutely. This is Eric Brown with my brother and business partner, Aaron Brown, owners of Siding Unlimited. We were raised in this industry with the foundation that makes all of those words ring true. Our dad raised us to appreciate every project and deliver an installation that will last well beyond what the warranty says.
Very true. So we extended our labor warranty from 5 to 10 years. customers, proving that we will stand by our work. Our experience in installing the right products the right way has earned us platinum ratings with Pella, LP SmartSide, and TimberTech Decking, making our companies Siding Unlimited and Outdoor Living Unlimited triple platinum.
The highest standard in the industry, we can only accomplish that type of level in windows, siding, and decking by being true to who we are when it comes to integrity, completing each job, and being available to our customers.
It doesn't end there. We are also excelling in roofing, doors, and so much more. Trust the local, family-operated Siding Unlimited to be the company of choice for your next project.
Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Call Siding Unlimited at 262-567-4513 or visit sidingunlimited.com today.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
All right, the latest on Josh Jacobs coming up here in about 5 minutes. Greg Mansick in the studio. I'll go through the criminal complaint and what it could mean for the Packers. But first, flock cameras have been in the news and for pretty much all the wrong reasons. And in one community north of us, they're addressing it. WTMJ's Adam Roberts is with us in the studio. Hey, Adam.
Hey, you guys. Yeah, if it feels like we've been doing a lot of flock stories over the last few days, it's because we have. There's a big movement, it seems, not just in Wisconsin, but nationwide, of communities either declining to extend contracts with this company Flock or ending them early outright. So very quick background. You've heard of Flock cameras by now. They are automatic license plate readers. You've likely seen them in your community on light poles. They're usually black. They'll have a solar panel attached. Well, in the city of Sheboygan, it's the latest community that is having a bit of a backtrack on their contract. So if you text WATCH to 855-616-1620, right now the city has about a dozen and a half of these cameras out, but they're not working right now. They're covered with, and it's hard to tell if it's like a garbage bag, if it's plastic wrap, but they are covered. I was able to get some photos of the cameras. They are covered now, and so they're not going to be able to do what they're set out to do. So this all stems from a situation the police department says happened back in July, where they became aware of, according to a release, actions they believe are inconsistent with terms and expectations of the city's contract with Flock. So I've been trying for the last few hours to get some clarification from the city on what exactly that is, because it's a little vague as it's written. Haven't heard back from the police department. However, the mayor of Sheboygan, Ryan Sorensen, did touch on things briefly when speaking with Channel 4 earlier today.
When we're making sure that we use databases that collect data, that it's not being used for other purposes. We want to make sure that the primary purpose of our community is to keep our neighborhoods safe. And when we verge away from that, that can be concerning.
As far as people's personal data, the mayor says he doesn't believe there's any reason for concern there. However, the chief of police and the city are asking the Common Council next month to terminate the contract with Flock. They're set to consider it September 8th.
I was just going to say, the cameras are such a good idea. They're such a good tool potentially to solve crime, but it comes with a lot of issues. Adam, does it seem like, and you've covered a lot of these Flock stories, that we're headed towards almost no communities using these?
Well, there is quite a long list of Wisconsin specifically communities. I believe it's now around a dozen that have ended their contracts. Now, there are still several communities, including the city of Milwaukee, that do utilize Flock cameras, and there's been no indication, despite some of the Milwaukee Common Council's concerns, that that's going to be ending anytime soon. There is another Fire and Police Commission meeting coming up in about a week, but so far no agenda on that. And what I'm also going to be watching, too, as these stories continue to unfold, is what's interesting to me is what could happen as far as, even if a community ends its relationship with Flock, do they then just pursue license plate reader camera technology with another company? Mm-hmm. We saw in Arizona, in Tempe recently, they not only ended their contract with Flock, they said they will never partner with another ALPR company at all. And so far, that has not been the case in Wisconsin.
Yeah, if you look at the map of the entire nation, you can see that it's all over. It's dotted all over, especially our state and Illinois as well.
Yeah, lots of issues, though. WTMJ's Adam Roberts. Thanks. We appreciate it, Adam. Up next, the latest on the Josh Jacobs situation, including how it could impact the Packers. Greg Mansick with us live in the studio right after traffic and weather.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 17 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 59? Visit bank59.com/careers. That's bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin has the top doctors in the area, the highest patient satisfaction ratings. Michelle, my wife, hurt her back, got to OHAU, got right away to the imaging, got right away to physical therapy. It didn't require surgery, and that's what they'll do for you, too. They'll try to solve it without surgery, but if that's what it comes to, they have the best surgeons in the area. You deserve to feel better. Start at their website, ohow.com, OHOW.com. Hit request an appointment. You get the information, and you get in to see somebody almost right away. Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Start your journey to feeling better at OHOW.com, OHOW.com.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
Get all the help you need on your home with WTMJ's Fall Home Improvement Showcase, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Looking for that much-needed update before the cold weather arrives? Check out the services provided from our great partners at Appliance Gallery, Comfort Awnings, Ridgetop Exteriors, and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. For more information and to see what our partners can do for you and your home, visit WTMJ.com today. It's the Fall Home Improvement Showcase on WTMJ.
Traffic and weather, Debbie Lazaga. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, southbound on 43, backing up from Capitol Drive down through the Marquette down to the KK River. Northbound, you're seeing delays right from the base of the high-rise bridge all the way up to Locust. Also, southbound 41, a heavy ride from Good Hope Road to Silver Spring. Northbound from Burleigh all the way to Silver Spring as well. Eastbound 94, you got pockets of heavy traffic, one from Highway F all the way to Brookfield Road, and then from 84th Street all the way to 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, clear skies, a low of 62. Tomorrow, sunny, a high of 81. Saturday, chance for rain at night, a high of 83. Sunday, chance for storms, a high of 85. Monday, warm, humid, more rain possible, a high of 88 degrees. Josh Jacobs, Packers running back, has now been charged with 2 crimes, both misdemeanors, battery and criminal damage to property. The allegations are that he got in a dispute with a woman at his house who grabbed his phone and saw he was talking to other girls, got upset. A tussle ensued. A little bit of a physical struggle broke out inside the house, according to the criminal complaint. It lasted several minutes. He got in his car. She wanted her phone back. They both got in separate cars. They drove off, according to the criminal complaint. And then they came back to the house, and an altercation took place in the garage. And the criminal complaint says that Jacobs grabbed her and threw her to the ground, and she struck her head, then took her phone from her while she was on the ground. It says that she stayed on the ground for a while and then struggled to walk back into the house. This was all caught on video, which is likely going to be not easy to watch. Greg Matzik broke this news. It happened on his watch about an hour and a half ago, and he's with us in the studio. Greg, what's your initial reaction when you read through the criminal complaint?
Video. Video is going to be what the NFL really focuses in on, and what I think the Green Bay Packers will focus in on. There have been situations in the NFL, thinking back to Ezekiel Elliott, Dallas Cowboys running back in 2017. He was suspended 6 games. It was a really long, extensive inquiry into domestic violence allegations. He was never legally charged with a crime, but he was still suspended for 6 games. Okay, so that is sort of the baseline here that the NFL uses. And now that they have actual charges against Josh Jacobs, it's sort of the trigger for them to move ahead with their process, right? They're waiting on Brown County to figure out what they are going to do. But they have clear grounds to act right now. And because there's video associated with this, I don't see any way Josh Jacobs doesn't get a minimum of 6 games suspension. He can file an appeal. That appeal goes right to Roger Goodell. They talk about it, and ultimately a decision is made. But the other element here is the Green Bay Packers. There's no guarantee Josh Jacobs is a member of this team when the regular season begins. The Packers have to be discussing the idea of releasing the running back.
Okay, yeah, the Packers itself. I mean, they're such a family organization. You don't really think of that and domestic violence and the Green Bay Packers together. I mean, how quickly can they cut ties?
Well, they're going to let this play out, I would think, over the course of the next several days. But I would think before the regular season begins, there would likely be some resolution from the team. Now, again, the NFL could step in tomorrow and suspend Josh Jacobs for 6 games, right? They are waiting for charges to be filed. Again, looking back at the Ezekiel Elliott case, there was no criminal charge. There's no legal charging of, or no legal crime here committed, according to what the court system ended up finding with Elliott, and he was still suspended for 6 games. So that is kind of the baseline here when there's the idea of physical force, violence, battery, domestic violence involved in a case involving a player.
So every media organization has now asked for this video. It's going to show up on TMZ or Page 6 or the New York Post or Washington Post, I should say, sooner rather than later. This is the exact wording in the criminal complaint. Jacobs grabbed her and threw her to the ground, and she struck her head. She laid on the ground for a while and then struggled to walk back into the house. I'm surprised there were video cameras inside the garage. That's kind of interesting, but there were, apparently. Boy, Greg, you've already hit on this. This could be horrific. I mean, to say that they believe that he threw her to the ground, that's not very nuanced. That's not like there was a struggle and she ended up on the ground, if you believe the language literally.
The last video that I recall, and this goes way back, this was a Ray Rice situation.
Yes,
and
in the elevator.
It was a domestic violence incident that was caught in an elevator, and it was significant. It was literally the former Ravens running back beating up his girlfriend. He never played another down in the NFL, nor should he have ever played another down in the NFL. The video adds another layer of significance to the entire story. Everything you read in the criminal complaint, you read it, you can picture it, but then when you say there is video of it, it just brings everything to life. The NFL perhaps will get their hands on this video in trying to figure out a way to discipline Josh Jacobs, but even if they don't, any first-time violation, according to the league's personal conduct policy involving domestic violence, battery, or physical force, carries a mandatory baseline suspension of 6 games without pay.
Wow.
That is the minimum.
So he has 2 years left on his contract, $25 million in cash remaining on his 4-year contract. What happens to that money? Nothing's guaranteed once that all goes out the window, right? $25 million, poof, gone?
It depends how it was structured in terms of signing bonus and things along that line. The way it was described when Jacobs signed with the Packers was a series of 1-year deals in which it would sort of kind of see how things went and then make an assessment for the next possible season. But nevertheless, you're looking at a player right now who's getting up there in his career. He is a durable workhorse running back. If you're looking at just the football side of things, the Packers don't really have a comp in-house to replace his level of production. But beyond the football field, more the human element, I don't know if the Packers can stomach the idea of this video getting out and then putting Josh Jacobs in his number 8 jersey behind Jordan Love on opening day.
This is obviously about much more than football. The more important things are not related to football, but I want to ask you a football question. Yeah. You just alluded to this. Mm-hmm. How are the Packers stacked in that running back room? None of them are Josh Jacobs, but how do they look if they need to start the season without Josh Jacobs?
They have a third-year running back, Marshawn Lloyd, who has played exactly 1 game in his first 2 years in the league because of injuries. He's got all the explosive intangibles and things you want in a running back. He's just not able to prove it because of a long injury concern. He's looked pretty good in the preseason. They have a steady, unspectacular, reliable, pass-blocking third down back named Chris Brooks.
Wow, right? That sounds great.
I know. He's like an 88 Dodge Caravan, right? He's going to get the job done, but there's nothing pretty about it. And then a guy named Pierre Strong, who is in his 4th year in the league and has never amassed more than 300 yards in a given season. He's kind of a third down back. But there are a list of free agent running backs who have been very productive in the NFL available. And general managers have emergency boards. They know who to call if something pops up here, and they can get a back who likely would be of name value and maybe appeared on your fantasy team once at a time into Green Bay to participate, including a guy that popped off the list to me, Travis Etienne Jr., played with Jacksonville. He rushed for 1,100 yards last season. He's without a team right now. So
interesting.
There are interesting players available. A lot of GMs shy away from the older running backs because of durability issues, but I think general managers around the league have their emergency short list at a variety of positions. And given how long the situation with Jacobs has dragged on, you're talking about the entirety of a summer. I'd be shocked if Brian Gutekunst did not have a short list available ready to pounce on if needed.
Yeah. And to the texters who are saying, aren't you putting the cart before the horse? Why are you even talking about this? Because there's a criminal complaint that we're holding in our hands, and Josh Jacobs has been charged with 2 crimes. That's why we're talking about it, and we will continue to talk about it.
And he faces a year and a half in prison.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is very serious stuff. Greg Matzik, you can hear Greg and Jessica on the midday show from noon to 3. It's my second favorite show on the radio station.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I appreciate it, Greg. Thanks for spending some time with us.
You bet.
Good perspective. It is 4:24 at WTMJ. Earlier, we spoke to criminal defense attorney Jonathan Lavoie, who raised some very interesting points about the video itself and about what role he and being a Packer played in all of this. Jonathan Lavoie you'll hear coming up in the second half of the show. We're done, by the way, at 5:30 today because of Brewers baseball. Let's check the markets. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update on this Thursday. Everything in the green. The NASDAQ, let's go, up 411 points, more than 1.5%. The Dow is up 106. That's almost 0.25%. And the S&P rode today. It was up 55 points. That's 0.75%. Annex Wealth Management is financial planning at every level. Fee-only fiduciary all the time. Know the difference with Annex.
See Europe from a completely new perspective with Fox World Travel and Avalon Waterways. Cruising down legendary rivers like the Danube or the Rhine, your luxury boutique hotel travels with you. Relax in award-winning panorama suites featuring wall-to-wall windows, enjoy premium local wine and dining, and step off directly into the heart of historic castles and villages. Your next incredible river cruise awaits. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com today.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for St. Charles Youth and Family Services. They are looking for compassionate people like you to become foster parents. Have you been thinking about this? Well, through their treatment foster care program, you'll get training, guidance, and ongoing support every step of the way. Here's a foster parent with St. Charles who describes how rewarding it is.
Initially, it is kind of timid. Even I've been doing it for 18 plus years, and I still be like, oh boy, who am I going to get? Because on paper, they do look intimidating. But once you get them in your house and tell them your rules, they just looking for love.
Learn more about becoming a foster parent today, right now at stcharlesinc.org. That's stcharlesinc.org, stcharlesinc.org.
Whether it's help with hormone therapy, weight management, or sexual health, every woman should have access to affordable prescription medication and personalized care that understands the whole woman. Join me, Dr. Doug Lucas, clinical lead of hormone optimization and longevity at LifeMD, along with other leading experts on the podcast, Here's Something Good on Women's Health and Longevity. To learn more, go to lifemd.com.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
John Mercure here for Connect Chiropractic. Life today can keep us stuck in stress mode. Headaches, poor sleep, constant tension, feeling worn down. At Connect Chiropractic, the focus isn't just masking symptoms, it's finding the root cause, helping your nervous system function the way it was designed so your body can heal, adapt, and perform at its best. If you deal with headaches, sleep struggles, or neck and back pain from long days at a desk, take a closer look. Start with a first visit at Connect Chiropractic. It includes advanced scans, digital x-rays, helping uncover what's really going on. Connect Chiropractic.
If you missed this,
So crazy. They were up by so much that Jackson Churio, who's a righty, came up to the dish and decided, you know what? I've never done this before. I'm going to try it from the other side.
Jackson Churio batting left-handed, smokes one out to center.
or this,
A little more than 300 people lined up to get a moment with the Miz for a special ball signing. Take a look at my ball.
Ooh, that's really, really
I
sweet.
know.
catch up on the Wisconsin's Afternoon News podcast wherever you stream. Sponsored by Diversified Wealth Strategies.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for the City of Hope Cancer Center in Zion. Here to share Rochelle Gardner's story. She's a Milwaukee Public Schools teacher who's now getting access to a promising new targeted therapy for pancreatic cancer. Treatment she hopes will help her give her more time with her family and her students.
With the students that I have, it brings me joy. It takes away, my thoughts about my cancer.
And she knows she's fortunate her cancer was caught when it was, even though pancreatic cancer often comes with few warning signs.
At least I was under a doctor's care at stage 1.
Those symptoms came from a tumor on her pancreas that was affecting her liver. When chemotherapy and radiation were no longer controlling her cancer, Rochelle's cancer eventually became stage 4. That is when she sought out City of Hope in Zion, where she's getting access to an emerging treatment called daraxonrasib. City of Hope was one of 59 centers worldwide involved in clinical trials of the drug. It targets a mutation found in the vast majority of pancreatic cancers. Dr. Ajaz Khan, an oncologist at City of Hope, shares how the therapy works.
What we really know about pancreatic cancer is that it grows based upon this gene called KRAS. And so daraxonrasib, basically what it works on is deactivating or basically trying to shut down that cancer gene and not allow it to make other cancer cells and cancer proteins.
Rochelle's City of Hope doctor put her name forward as a possible candidate, and after weeks of waiting, she got the call at the end of July. She qualified.
I was so excited because they treated me like royalty, and they always do.
She now takes the treatment in pill form, and she says it's now giving her hope.
Take care of the cancer, or at least stop it from growing more and give me more time. I need more time with my family. I need more time to do things.
City of Hope Cancer Center in Zion is less than an hour from Milwaukee. They are part of a national system advancing cutting-edge treatment and research. Head to cityofhope.org. That's cityofhope.org.
Traffic is sponsored by the Delafield Brewhouse in the heart of Lake Country. The Delafield Brewhouse Beer Garden is open. Stop for a pint, grab dinner, and take a growler of award-winning craft beer home. The Delafield Brewhouse in the heart of Lake Country.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, Packers running back Josh Jacobs charged in a domestic violence incident.
I'm Julia Fellow. Brand new information after a deadly crash at LaGuardia Airport.
I'm Debbie Lazago. We've got hefty delays right now on the bypass, starting from before Greenfield Avenue southbound through the Hale Interchange all the way over to 51st Street. The westbound side's backed up out of the Mitchell Interchange past 27th, almost to Loomis. We've also got delays eastbound 94 from Highway 16 all the way past Barker Road. Back on the brakes from 84th Street to 35th. Westbound's backed up from 27th all the way through the Stadium Interchange to Hawley Road, and then just west of Highway 100 to Calhoun. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Here tonight, a low of 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high of 81. Right now here in Milwaukee, it's mostly sunny and 72 degrees.
The Brown County District Attorney has formally charged Packers running back Josh Jacobs following a domestic incident at his residence in May.
According to the criminal complaint, surveillance video from Jacobs' garage shows he grabbed his girlfriend and threw her to the ground, causing her to strike her head. Jacobs then took her phone. She stayed on the ground for a while before struggling to walk back into the house. Jacobs is charged with 1 count of misdemeanor battery and 1 count of misdemeanor criminal damage to property. Each charge carries a maximum penalty of 9 months in jail and a $10,000 fine. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Jacobs' release relies heavily on video evidence. We saw that in the criminal complaint, and we spoke to criminal defense attorney Jonathan Lavoie on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. He says that could favor the prosecution. He also tells us how the defense might strategize.
When you look at the charges, he's charged with standard battery and standard criminal damage to property. He's not charged with domestic violence or domestic abuse-related offenses. And I think his attorneys are going to try to spin that to make him look better in the eyes of the public.
Lavoie adds that if Jacobs is convicted, it is more likely he would face probation instead of jail.
A teen from Twin Lakes is facing charges after he allegedly sexually targeted minors through Snapchat.
19-year-old Austin Scaletta admitted to asking a 13-year-old to perform sexual acts over the platform. He also allegedly saved 9 explicit images and videos of a 16-year-old in the Snapchat conversations. He's facing 12 felonies for possession of child pornography and exposing a child to harmful material. The sheriff's office says none of the incidents happened at Wilmot High School, where Scaletta used to volunteer. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Air traffic controllers left work early just before a deadly collision involving an airplane at LaGuardia Airport in New York. News Nation's Nicole Burley.
It happened at LaGuardia in March when an Air Canada jet struck a fire truck, killing both pilots and injuring 40 others. Air traffic controllers were at the center of the incident. A spokesperson with the FAA says the agency is committed to holding employees accountable and will not compromise the safety of airspace.
The National Transportation Safety Board continues to investigate. The agency's final report is not likely to be published for another 6 months.
The city of Sheboygan is covering all 15 of its flock cameras as the city moves to end its contract with the company.
The cameras were installed in 2024 to capture license plates and help police investigate crimes. But police say they learned in July of actions by Flock Safety they believe were inconsistent with the city's contract and that undermined trust in the company. City staff began covering the cameras Tuesday to stop them from collecting license plate data. The Sheboygan Common Council will consider ending the Flock contract on September 8th. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin could reconsider who qualifies for state veterans benefits, with particular focus on National Guard and reserves.
A legislative study committee heard that the state's current rules can produce very different results depending on the benefit. Dane County Veteran Service Director Dan Connery says some service members can qualify for federal veterans benefits, but still be excluded from certain programs in Wisconsin.
It's complex and it's confusing, and it's, a lot of times we're head scratching. We don't, at our level, at the county level, we're not the adjudicator.
The committee will now examine those gaps with possible legislation being introduced next year. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Packers are signing veteran tight end Jonnu Smith to a one-year contract. Smith was a Pro Bowler in 2024 when he caught 88 passes for the Dolphins. Quarterback Jordan Love will not play tomorrow night in the Packers' preseason finale at Lambeau Field. Love describing Wednesday's joint practice with the Arizona Cardinals as valuable.
You're finally seeing a new defense, some new looks. When you get to the preseason games, it's pretty vanilla what you're seeing. So I think practice, teams show a little bit more pressures, things like that. So it's definitely, I think, more realistic for, the regular season.
The Packers roster must be cut down to 53 by 3 p.m. on Sunday. Jacob Mizrowski takes the mound for the Brewers tonight in the final game of a 3-game series against the Mets. Brewers general manager Matt Arnold outlines the plan for starting pitcher Dustin May.
We'll let the swelling go down a little bit, but ideally we just sort of back him up a couple of days.
May left yesterday's game after being struck in the back by a line drive on his first pitch of the night. Our coverage of tonight's game starts at 5:35 right here on WTMJ.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 4:36.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. PellaWI.com. No two homes are exactly alike. So why would every window and door solution be the same? At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, premium quality doesn't come in just one price point. Whether you're replacing a few windows, remodeling a historic fixer-upper, or building from the ground up, Pella offers gorgeous, high-quality, and customizable solutions for every unique situation. You'll never have to settle for something that isn't right for your home, thanks to custom designers ready to help at every step. It doesn't matter which windows you choose, you'll receive the same Pella craftsmanship, attention to detail, and commitment to quality. And that always includes the same honest advice, straightforward pricing, Pella-certified installers, and one trusted team standing behind the work. Quality doesn't have to mean one size fits all. It means finding the right solution for your home. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Hey, we're joined by Chief Meteorologist Brian Nisnansky, usually at 5:35. What a special treat. He's here an hour earlier because we have Brewers baseball tonight. Hello, Niz.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, Brewers, East Coast Brewers been kicking me off all week. It's all right.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, let's talk about the Brewers. We have reports that the tarp is still on the field there, and there's rain in the area. What are you seeing?
Yeah, pretty active radar in the New York area. Right now I'm looking at pretty good, decent showers. Nothing severe, but there's been some heavy rainfall with this moving through the metro area there in New York. There's tons of flash flood warnings. There's some spots, especially west of Manhattan into New Jersey, that's had like 3-4 inches of rain. Not as much east. City Field is more in like the Queens area, I believe. And they're seeing the rain. It hasn't been as heavy out that way. And I am seeing what could be a pretty decent lull in that rain starting to work its way in here pretty soon. So maybe there will be baseball tonight. I've been looking at some of the model trends too, and it looks like there is somewhat of a dissipating trend with this, at least over locations that are east of Manhattan.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. So first pitch is an hour and a half from now, and they have to take the tarp off, work the field a little bit. Maybe they'll just start a little late.
Yeah, I'm looking at another little shower that's like, obviously there's some stuff that's back towards Newark, and then there's one that's south of Newark that could eventually clip the Queens area. But for the time being, I think things settle down there in the next half hour or so, and maybe they'll at least start the game and have to dodge a couple showers as the night goes on. But I am not seeing a pure washout at this point from moving forward.
Okay. And while we're watching a game, maybe it goes late, who knows, we could stay up late to see the lunar eclipse. What time might we see it? Or do you think we will see it?
Yeah, I think the clouds are going to cooperate for us. So that's half the battle, or more than half the battle. So viewing should be good. The eclipse, the partial, begins at 9:53 p.m., and you're going to want to look in the southeast sky. And then I think it maxes out at 12:53 or 12:13, something like that, after midnight tonight. It never becomes a full lunar eclipse. You'll still see a little sliver that's not eclipsed. But still, very, very close. It's going to be super cool. Full moon tonight, sturgeon moon. And if you are up at that time, snap a picture and send it to us.
I don't know. It's 9:30. Julia will probably be asleep already.
Oh, no. I'll be fast asleep.
For sure.
I try to go to bed at 9 now, Niz. Isn't that terrible?
Yeah, your schedule's changing a little bit.
I wish. Yeah, I mean, that when I worked mornings, I was definitely trying to sleep by then. But no, I'll be here at the station. And my hope is I was talking to our 10 p.m. producers. We have a number of sky cams. The trick is if the moon is too high in the sky, to pan the camera up far enough, sometimes it doesn't reach that far. So my hope is we're still able to get a good live look of it at 10 o'clock. We'll see.
All right, Niz, please lead us through what the next 5 days or so look like.
Okay, guys. So tonight, again, mainly clear skies. Nice night, 62 degrees. Tomorrow looks good, mostly sunny, 81. Saturday, partly cloudy and up to 83. There's a chance we get some showers and storms in here during the day on Saturday, but I think a much better chance Saturday night and into Sunday. Now, I don't think Sunday is a washout, but Sunday definitely looking like the wetter of the 2 days. Up to 85 and humid on Sunday. Monday, we're going to 88 for now, but with a chance of showers and storms. If we don't see much in the way of rain on Monday, I think we easily hit 90 degrees for the last day of summer break for many of our area students.
Niz, and also today's the 1 year anniversary of that tornado in Menasha. Can you believe that was 1 month ago today?
Yeah, 1 month ago. Crazy. We went through there I think 2 weeks ago, and there's progress, but there's still a lot of work to be done for that community that's still picking up the pieces. Crazy stuff.
EF3, right?
Yep, standing at an EF3, a very wide EF3, went through a very populated area. Again, I'm still amazed that we didn't lose a life in that. The warnings were out, so that helps. I know talking to a lot of the residents there, many were at work. And thankfully, most workplaces are able to sustain that damage. However, you look at the water treatment plant and some of the big businesses there, I mean, gutted. So that shows you that if there's enough warning and if people actually get to their tornado safe spot, you could lose your outer walls. But if you're in your spot that you're supposed to be, sure, you might get a shard of glass, but you will, keep your life. And it's a very, very important reminder.
Yep, you're absolutely right about that. Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky, we'll talk to you tomorrow at 5:35, Niz.
Yeah, it sounds good, guys.
Yeah,
Go
we
Brewers.
Appreciate it. Go Brewers. It is 4:42 at WTMJ. By the way, we're on top of the weather situation in New York. So how this will all play out is unless the game is canceled, we will do the pregame at 5:35. So the pregame goes as normal. Then they play it by ear. Is the tarp off the field? Does it start on time?
Tarp's off.
Tarp's off. Like Mr. 105, the producer, he's tarps off.
He did it.
He does it at every home game. You know what? It's interesting because Nate does that when he's at home watching the game in his living room.
He does that sometimes when he's producing, too.
Right. Is that?
It's weird. I'm glad my back's to him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Check out my viewpoint. It is 4:43 at WTMJ.
I'm Matt Dorner, CEO of Milwaukee Downtown Bid 21. Our business leaders value downtown Milwaukee.
I'm Jonas Priesing, CEO of Manpower Group. As the global leader in connecting companies to the talent they need and people to great jobs, downtown Milwaukee is the proud home of our global headquarters. It's a vibrant community to live, work, and grow.
Get down to business at MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. Do you know what you own and why? How much are you paying for it? Annex understands that every portfolio tells a story. As a fee-only fiduciary, their focus is to act in your best interest. That means they provide guidance without commission and without the pressure of selling products. Their local team includes all sorts of professionals, wealth strategists, attorneys, all working together to help you build a plan for your family or your business. Professionals with extensive experience that have reviewed a wide range of portfolios. I've worked with all of their teams. They are incredible. Retirement planning, investment guidance, estate plans, business and tax strategies, all done at Annex, all done local. See what they do in person. Join Annex in person on Wednesday, September 9th at their beautiful Brookfield headquarters for Single in Retirement. Explore resources to plan for healthcare, housing, finances, and create a support network. To reserve your spot, click events at annexwealth.com. Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management. I've been with them for a very long time. Go to annexwealth.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Hey, reminder, it is summer storm season, and weather damage can be a real issue at the house. So if you think you've got a problem, remember, Tri-County Contracting gives free estimates on any potential wind or hail damage. And here's the best part, they can always work directly with your insurance. It's Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Love your home again, even during the storm season, with Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests. That's WTMJ.com/contests.
It's the most wonderful time of year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, and more at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
From the post-game to the morning show, there's no rest for baseball for Dominic Cotroneo, our Brewers 360 guest every Monday at 8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
I don't care about a team record. I don't care about 100 wins. I don't care about any of that. Make sure that you are in tip-top shape the moment the playoffs start.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited, Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Cannon and Dunphy, and Ridgetop Exteriors.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
446 traffic and then weather. Debbie Lazaga, how are the roads?
Still backed up on southbound 43, mainly from Capitol Drive down through the Marquette to the KK River. Northbound is backing up from about Lincoln all the way to North Avenue, so keep that one in mind as well. Got some backup southbound as well from just before Good Hope Road to Bender Road as well. Northbound 41, watch for the delays from just before Burleigh all the way past Silver Spring. Southbound slowing down just before Good Hope Road down to about Silver Spring as well. You're back on the brakes from Watertown Plank Road through the Zoo Interchange down and around the Hale Interchange all the way to about 51st Street. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, mainly clear tonight, a low of 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 81. Saturday, partly cloudy, a chance of showers and storms at night, a high of 83. Sunday, partly cloudy and very warm, a chance of showers and storms, a high of 85. Monday, very warm and humid, a chance of showers and storms, a high of 88. Right now here in Milwaukee, it's mostly sunny and 72 degrees.
IndyCar racing is coming to the Milwaukee Mile this weekend. It's going to be an incredible weekend. Doug Bowles is the president of IndyCar and president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and he's with us this afternoon. Doug, it's so good to catch up again. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and thanks for hosting us in your city. I'm just heading to downtown right now to do a little wandering around because I love coming to Milwaukee, and I can't wait to go racing starting tomorrow night.
Wow.
Hey, I love that. Before we talk about our weekend, I have to ask you about last weekend. How cool was it racing through the streets of Washington, D.C., epic flyover? What was the weekend like?
Yeah, it was kind of surreal, the fact that we actually were able to pull off that event. It took us about, we announced it about 7 months ago, and then to get it built and to actually do it and seeing the Capitol in the background as our cars were running down Pennsylvania Avenue, and obviously the flyovers were incredible. It was, to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our country and to do it in our nation's capital was a pretty special moment for all of us.
It's really fun that you guys are back for its second year. The series returned to Milwaukee in 2024, and 2026 marks the return of the doubleheader format. Why do you love Milwaukee?
Well, if you think about history and IndyCar racing, other than the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, there just isn't a place like Milwaukee. I mean, Milwaukee is the oldest racetrack in America, and the fact that we can come here where IndyCar has so much history and tradition, and the racing has been really fantastic here. The racetrack just really suits our cars really well, and it's a big racing community. A lot of IndyCar fans here. It's a lot of fun. And last year, you're right, we did the doubleheader in 24 and then went to the single race in 25, and we thought, man, if you're going to be in Milwaukee and you got a chance to do it, let's make that doubleheader happen. So getting to have a race on Saturday and Sunday is a really special time for us.
I love that. Doug Bowles, the president of IndyCar, is with us. So Milwaukee is a short oval. They were on the street in Washington, D.C. What is a short oval? Is that different than the oval in Indy?
Yeah, so the oval at Indianapolis is 2.5 miles, and we see top speeds of in excess of 240 miles an hour. So here it's a mile track. We use a little bit different aero configuration, so the parts that are on the car, like the wings, are a little bit bigger, to give them more ability to stay on the track. But they're still running, 180 miles an hour around this 1 mile racetrack, and it's relatively flat, which means that the cars can run a lot closer. So it's a little bit different driving style than even Indianapolis, than Indianapolis is. So it is definitely a short oval, but it's got that oval characteristic of super fast and cars running side by side and a lot of passing.
How fast have you ever driven?
About 180 miles an hour on my own at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as well in one of the 1,200 horsepower Corvettes.
What was that like?
Whoa!
In a rocket?
It's pretty. Yeah, it's like a rocket ship. So it's a lot of fun. One of the best parts of my job at working at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is if I have a bad day, it's always, go out and take a couple track laps and just use a little bit of speed to make yourself feel a lot better about how the day's gone.
What's the fastest you've ever driven on the interstate?
I don't know that I want to say that on the air.
John, I know you were going over 90 one time.
Yeah, I got stopped going almost 100 on the way to. Anyhow, okay.
And they let you go?
They did actually.
Yeah, you should let John do this.
Long story. I was going to a veterans event and I had my gear on, and the officer stopped me and knew who I was, and he let me go. And he said, "I'm going to tell you to slow down, but you're probably not going to. So just be safe." But anyhow, this isn't about me. Doug, how loud is it if you're down on the infield?
Indy cars are loud, but not like NASCAR loud. So it's really. It's not that bad, honestly. I mean, you can't. You have to get close to each other to talk, right? But it's not that bad. I say that, and I'm already deaf, so I have a significant hearing problem in my right ear from just being around race cars too long. But no, it's not. We have a NASCAR race at Indianapolis as well, and every time the NASCAR cars come, it strikes me how much louder they are than Indy cars. But it's definitely an internal combustion engine, so the cars are there for sure.
So I'm taking a look at the weather on Saturday, just starting with Saturday, and there's a chance of showers and storms at night. So will you be in the clear for Saturday?
I think it sounds like Saturday will be okay, because I think our start time on Saturday is 1:30. So we qualify in the morning like at 10 o'clock. So I think we'll get everything in on Saturday. And then we'll see what happens on Sunday. The issue, on a street circuit or a road circuit, we can run in the rain. On speeds on ovals like this, we just can't. So hopefully that rain comes late after the race is over, and then it'll clean the track off and get it ready for a good race on Sunday.
Hey, I know they're individuals, but what are the drivers like? Are they really chill with like blood pressures of only 100, or are they amped up, high energy all the time? Are they more Red Bull, or are they more down and really chill?
It's really funny. In the 25 drivers that we have that start, they're all over the map. So you have some that are sort of always on the rev limiter, and then you have others that you can't believe that they're going to get in a race car and do what they're going to do. But I can tell you that when we monitor them, when you see their heart rates and you see what's going on, all of them they are athletes, right? And our cars don't have power steering. So we were just watching an explanation of this. It's like taking a 45-pound dumbbell and trying to use it as a steering wheel for the whole entire race. So their heart rates go well over 175, 180 while they're driving.
Wow.
But when you're out of the car, it's amazing. Some of them, they're just so even keeled. It's hard to believe that they're race car drivers. And then you have the others that are all over the map that are that are a little bit of a challenge to settle down. So it's one of the great things about our series. There are just so many different personalities that are our drivers, and you can find whatever you like if you're trying to find the right personality to root for.
This is probably a simple question, but why isn't there power steering? Is it just going to weigh down the car too much?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, that it's a weight issue, and so one of the things drivers don't like is they don't like weight. The less weight means that the cars are more nimble, they accelerate better, and so just our series, like NASCAR, for example, has power steering. So we just never have had it, and it's one of the things. We've got a brand new car coming out in 2028. And while we don't plan on having power steering in 2028, we've designed the car so that if we ever decided to put power steering in it, we've got the ability to do that. And that's one of the little debates that we have. But it really does come down to, just like you said, it comes down to weight. And if you think about Formula One drivers, if you look at a Formula One driver versus an IndyCar driver, Formula One drivers tend to be more like jockeys because weight is so important. And so when they work out, they don't work out to build bulk and strength. Because they don't need to, because they have power steering in Formula One. Our drivers, even an F1 driver that comes from F1 to IndyCar, begins to build more strength because you need to have that strength to race in our series, just because you don't have the power steering.
Take that.
That's right. Get that out of here. It's like the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angels. One wears one's wear the fancy suits and one doesn't. So, Doug Bowles is the president of IndyCar and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is going to be a great weekend. It's family friendly out there. They've got food, they've got entertainment, and the major championship storyline for this race is pretty incredible. You ought to look it out. Look it up. The best racers in the world are going to be here. Tickets are available. wistatefair.com. wistatefair.com. You can get your tickets now. There's lots of good stuff available. Doug, we appreciate it. It's so special to have you guys here in town. Where are you going to eat tonight?
Well, we just literally parked downtown at the public market. We love the public market. So we'll wander through the public market. We'll get some stuff. We stay at the racetrack in our RV, so we'll cook out there. But this will be the first of probably at least 3 trips to the public market, and we love to walk around. Milwaukee's such a great city. Those of you that live here, you're fortunate. You're on the water. Got a great city, a great sports city. We love coming here, and anytime we come, we try and support a lot of those local shops, and we're going to have a good time eating some food that we pick up here at the public market today.
I bet the Doug Bowles RV is one pimped out RV.
Yes.
That's not like something you get at Camping World.
Well, it's funny you say. Normally we come with with a little camper, but we do have a fun bus with us this weekend. So it just depends on the weekend. But we are in a fun bus this weekend. Last year we were in a little camper. It just depends on the weekend.
Hey, Doug, have a great Milwaukee weekend. Hope everything goes fantastic out at the mile. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having me.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma
Get your
sports
final
station.
August plans in for Brewers Rangers Action Friday, August 28th through Sunday the 30th. Starting with the Cole Swindell post-game concert at Country Music Night on Friday, featuring a belt buckle with a special ticket. Then, it's Jackson Churio Mania. Get the Churio Bowl giveaway Saturday, courtesy of 620 WTMJ. And get it on the Final Kids Cheer free Sunday before summer ends. Kids get a Churio Hype poster on Sunday, courtesy of Joy. Get tickets for it all at Brewers.com.
You might not think of Burkhart for corporate uniforms and other business apparel, but you should. because a lot of businesses do. And it's because most times we're cheaper than our competition on the same high-quality apparel choices that the other guys offer, plus Nike and Under Armour that the other guys can't get. So for businesses and corporations, if you want your employees to look great while representing your brand, and you want to get your apparel for less, you can't beat Burkhart, your business uniform specialists.
You can't beat Burkhart.
We're sponsored by Diversified Wealth Strategies. Your life, your goals. Visit dwstrategies.com.
Many people feeling close to retirement ask themselves, do I have enough?
Am I missing something?
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, we provide clarity during our complimentary, no-pressure consultation. We're independent advisors using big firm tools with a boutique-style approach.
And no crickets. We stay in touch so you're never left wondering.
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, let us show you how to capture the upside, limit the downside, and feel good inside.
Visit dwstrategies.com.
Securities and investment services offered through Mosaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
988 Wisconsin Lifeline. How can I help you?
Share hope, find purpose when you become a 988 Lifeline counselor. The 988 Wisconsin Lifeline provides free and confidential support to anyone in crisis. 988 has experienced tremendous growth, and more statewide counselors are needed. Staffed by Family Services, 988 counselors work remotely, are offered competitive compensation, benefits, and training. Apply today at 988lifelinecounselor.org. Family Services is an equal opportunity employer.
Paid for by grants from SAMHSA and the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Here's a Milwaukee education fact worth knowing. Today, roughly 1 in 2 publicly funded Milwaukee students attends a school of choice. Public charter, private school using the Milwaukee Parental Choice Program. That's more than 40,000 students in total and their families, each exercising the power to choose. The story of Milwaukee schools is bigger than one district, and it's a story worth understanding. Learn how City Ford Collective is working to strengthen educational opportunities for all of Milwaukee students at cityfordcollective.org.
4 years ago, I opened a doggy dream space unlike anything in Wisconsin. A place that offers it all: daycare, boarding, grooming, and a one-of-a-kind indoor-outdoor dog park and tavern. A hangout as fun for humans as it is for hounds. I'm Leah, proud owner of the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls. Our love, passion, and commitment to dogs and the community are at the core of everything we do. From our incredible staff to top-tier services, we've built something truly special at the Hounds and Tap. Come see for yourself. Visit the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls today.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Hildebrand of Hildebrand Law Firm. Since 2001, we've proudly helped Milwaukee families and business owners protect what matters most. We combine the experience of a larger law firm with the personal attention you deserve. We take the time to listen, explain your options, and create a plan that's right for you. When the stakes are high, you need trusted legal advocates who will stand by your side every step of the way. Protect your family, your legacy, and your peace of mind. Visit hildebrandlawfirm.net to schedule a consultation today.
The lights get bright in New York, but this crew belongs on center stage.
Start spread.
Here's the 2-2. And Jacob fly ball to center. Harris is back. Harris at the track, looking up. It is gone! Jake Bowers with one of the at-bats of the year.
The Brewers head to New York to take on the Mets. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:35 on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story: a Packers player formally charged in a domestic incident.
I'm Julia Fellow. A high school community in mourning after a farming accident.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound on the bypass, slowing down technically from just before Blue Mound Road all the way down to the Hale interchange and through that all the way to Forest Home. Eastbound 94, watch for the backups coming in from before Highway F all the way past Barker Road, and then again from about 92nd Street through the Stadium interchange to about 35th, and heads up on the Rock Freeway heading southbound. We're seeing some pretty big delays because of the construction going on just south of Racine Avenue, and those delays stretch all the way down past Edgewood Avenue, so give yourself tons of time there. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, clear skies, a low of 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 81. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the Brown County District Attorney formally charging Packers running back Josh Jacobs with 2 misdemeanors related to his May arrest.
Originally booked on 5 charges, including felony strangulation, Jacobs now faces reduced charges of misdemeanor battery and criminal damage to property in a May 23rd incident at his residence in Hobart. The criminal complaint describes a physical confrontation between Jacobs and his girlfriend, resulting in her being thrown to the ground. Jacobs is due in court November 17th. It's unclear if the NFL will suspend Jacobs for the start of the regular season. A statement from Jacobs' attorney states, Mr. Jacobs respects the district attorney's office and the process it followed. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Surveillance video will likely be the key evidence in Jacobs' case. Criminal defense attorney Jonathan Lavoie tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News he expects it to be eventually made public.
The video evidence might tip the scales in favor of the prosecution, and they may not need as much cooperation from the alleged victim if all of this stuff is on video. And quite frankly, from the NFL's perspective, if the video looks really bad, that's the kind of stuff that shows up on TMZ and other websites, and that can be very harmful to Mr. Jacobs' football career.
Lavoie believes the state pursued misdemeanor charges because they could not meet the burden of proof for a felony.
The Ithaca School District is mourning the death of a student after a farming accident.
High school freshman Briggs Maxwell was seriously injured in an accident involving a skid loader in the town of Ithaca this morning. Richland County Sheriff's Office says he died from a head injury. Maxwell played as a running back and linebacker on the varsity football team, and his father is an assistant coach. The school district has canceled tomorrow's Ithaca-Weston football game. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Coming up, sports is next. Miz on the mound.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:04. Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Start your weekend tonight with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, right near Holy Hill. I love the Fox and Hounds. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free every night. Desserts and ice cream drinks are delicious, and also buy one, get one free. Enjoy the choice porterhouse steak, the braised pork shank, roast duck, twin lobster tails, the surf and turf. Any entree and your second dinner is free. Relax with your favorite beverage on the patio in the woods. Spectacular views, amazing dinners in the 8 dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. It's a one-of-a-kind summer dining destination. Wherever you live, it's worth the beautiful easy drive through the Kettle Moraine for your free dinner. And the Friday haddock fish fry is one of the best, and it's all you care to eat. Weekends might be too busy. Enjoy your free dinner tonight at the Fox and Hounds Supper Club. Tables are open. Google and reserve.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Miz on the mound tonight for the Brewers in the series finale in New York. Our coverage starts at 5:35 here on WTMJ. And how is Brewers starter Dustin May doing after being hit by that pitch, that comeback liner last night?
They're going to have to make sure all the swelling goes down. But they did the x-ray. It's negative. And, he'll be able to pitch as tolerated. And so hopefully it's just he's missing a couple days and back in the rotation sooner than later.
That's Brewers general manager Matt Arnold. And the Packers wrap up the preseason Friday night against the Cardinals. Quarterback Jordan Love is not expected to suit up.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:06.
We're sponsored by Old Fashioned Roofing, where a handshake still matters. Check them out today, oldfashionedroofing.com.
Whoop, just doing some roofing on another lovely Wisconsin day. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, no. It's just roofing done the old-fashioned way. You betcha. Do you need shingles? Let's mingle. For a Wisconsin tradition never dwindles. So raise a glass, shake a hand for this old-fashioned brand.
Plus families, school starts Tuesday, September 1st, and we're excited to serve you. If you haven't enrolled your child yet, now is the time. Milwaukee Public Schools offers free breakfast and lunch, the latest reading curriculum, and programs to fit every learner, including bilingual, language immersion, Montessori, special education, and more. Enroll today at mpsmke.com/enroll or visit us in person at 5225 West Valete Street, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Don't wait. Enroll today.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
Hey, we continue to bring you the latest on the Josh Jacobs situation. Coming up, criminal defense attorney Jonathan Lavoie. But first
is the 5 o'clock focus on Wisconsin's afternoon news.
Let's focus on what we know today related to Josh Jacobs. This was the dispatch call from May of 2026 coming from Jacobs' house.
I hear yelling and screaming, things being thrown. It's plotting to this location. I have an open line, possibly a male-female.
Now Josh Jacobs has been charged with 2 misdemeanors, battery and criminal damage to property. He faces up to 18 months in jail. That probably won't happen. He doesn't have a criminal record, but more importantly, his career could be in jeopardy. Let's bring in Kyle Wallace. Kyle and Brust on ESPN Milwaukee is with us on the line. Kyle, this is quite shocking. This just came out today. We all knew this was possible. I'm kind of surprised he got charged, to be honest with you. What's your take on what's happened today?
Yeah, it seems like initially he was facing some felony charges potentially, and so the felony charges went from felonies to look like misdemeanors. And so, it was shocking that it came down today, but it was something that we were expecting at some point with the initially happening back.
How many games could he be suspended, do you think?
Yeah, so on Kyle and Brust, we were joined by Adam Schefter at ESPN, and he said based off what happened, the Packers are probably looking between 3 to 6 games of a suspension. Von Miller was in a similar case, linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys for the Broncos. He didn't mean to charge, but he wasn't as charged, which was all dropped, and he still got suspended for 4 games. So as a Packers fan, you're probably looking at him for sure being suspended and a minimum of 3 games for that suspension. So the Packers will more than likely be without their starting running back, Josh Jacobs, to start the 2026 season, or at some point during the season, they expect some suspension to be handed down.
Kyle, one of the details in the criminal complaint is that where the bulk of this allegedly took place was in the garage, and there was a camera in the garage. It says Jacobs grabbed her and threw her to the ground. She struck her head. She struggled to walk back to the house after laying on the ground. The criminal complaint says there were cameras that captured all of that. Won't that be a big factor in how the NFL and the public and the Packers react, what that tape shows, how bad that looks?
That would be a significant video. The Packers, I would assume them as an organization are trying to get a look at that as well, because based off the response that they had today, it was kind of, hey, we're aware of this and we have no further comments. Depending on what it looks like, the Packers for sure want to get ahead of it, because they're always reminded to when the NFL started taking these things more seriously. With Ray Rice, the video with the elevator where he struck his then, I believe, girlfriend or fiance at that time in the elevator. And once the video came out after the NFL had ruled to be a softer ruling, after the video came out, all heck broke loose. So I would assume the Packers have seen the video, and that's why they took the stance that they have. And just for all parties involved, I really hope the video isn't as egregious as it may sound.
And Ray Rice never played again.
Never in the NFL again. He never got another opportunity again. This is not the same thing as Ray Rice based off what we're hearing, but it is something that it does pose a problem for Josh Jacobs and pose a problem for the Green Bay Packers as well moving forward.
What's going on behind the scenes right now with the Green Bay Packers, do you think?
Yeah, I think right now, as a general manager, putting on the hat of, we understand that you have a egregious thing that potentially took place, but from a professional sense for the Green Bay Packers, they're evaluating their running back depth, right? You had general manager Brian Gutekunst yesterday say he felt like the team was prepared to not have Josh Jacobs if that was the case for this season. But when you look at the roster, I don't think the Packers are prepared at all. And as the preseason comes to an end coming up this week, the Packers are probably going to be looking to see if they can have any type of depth or experience. When you look at their running back room, you got Marshawn Lloyd, who's never had more than 10 snaps in an NFL game ever in his career. And then you have a backup in Chris Brooks, who's a blocking guy. And then you got Pierre Straw. And the Packers don't have the depth. So as a team, you're trying to figure out how do we move forward to get the best roster we can possibly.
He is Kyle Wallace. Kyle, thank you for the perspective. We appreciate it.
No, Thank y'all so much for having me.
We're sponsored by Diversified Wealth Strategies, your life, your goals. Visit dwstrategies.com. Criminal defense attorney Jonathan Lavoie on all of this up next.
Many people feeling close to retirement ask themselves, do I have enough?
Am I missing something?
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, we provide clarity during our complimentary, no-pressure consultation. We're independent advisors using big firm tools with a boutique-style approach.
And no crickets. We stay in touch so you're never left wondering.
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, let us show you how to capture the upside, limit the downside, and feel good inside.
Visit dwstrategies.com.
Securities and investment services offered through Mosaic Wealth Inc. member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
Best selection, best value. It's the place I shop. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits. Otto's has been serving Milwaukee since 1945. They're in multiple locations. They've got the best selection and the best value. They sure do. I love the feel when I'm in one of their stores. It's just a really good vibe. They put all the local stuff where you can easily find it. The Liney products, Central Standard is prominently displayed. But they've got everything that you could possibly want in spirits, beer, wine, and ciders. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits.
No matter where you hear WTMJ, whether it be here.
So we are overlooking the bay. We're in the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studios.
Or there.
Here live in our Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Catch us at home or on the go. Thanks to Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
In the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin podcast studio.
We are live wherever you are, on the air and on the go. The Pella Windows and Doors podcast studio is live on WTMJ.com.
From singing varsity to jump around. And of course,
touchdown, Wisconsin!
The traditions of Badger football live here. Join us Sunday, September 6th. It's the season opener at Lambeau against Notre Dame. Our coverage begins at 4:30 on your home for Wisconsin football.
For all the Badgers action this season, go to Wisconsin's radio station, 620 WTMJ.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Tayback Law fights for those who fought for us. If you're a vet and have been wrongfully denied the VA benefits you're entitled to, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Traffic and weather. Debbie, hello.
Hello. Southbound on 43, backing up from Capitol Drive all the way through the Marquette down to about the KK River crossing. You're back on the brakes from Oklahoma Avenue down to about Holt, or Howard Avenue, actually. On the northbound side, you have backups from Beecher all the way through the Marquette up to North Avenue. Westbound 94, our usual delays from 35th Street to Hawley Road, and then just west of Highway 100 all the way to the county line. Southbound on 41, we've also got some backups from just before Good Hope Road to Silver Spring, northbound slowing from Burleigh all the way up past Silver Spring. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, clear skies, a low of 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 81 degrees. Saturday, partly cloudy, showers maybe at night, a high of 83. Sunday, very warm, a chance for more rain, a high of 85. Monday, partly cloudy, warm and humid, a high of 88 degrees. Green Bay Packers running back Josh Jacobs has been charged with 2 misdemeanors after he allegedly got violent with his girlfriend during a heated altercation earlier this year. Talking to other girls was at the center of this, according to the criminal complaint. Jonathan Lavoie is the renowned criminal defense attorney partner at Kim & Lavoie, and he is with us this afternoon. Jonathan, thank you so much for making some time for us.
You're very welcome.
2 misdemeanors, battery and criminal damage to property. Tell us about the 2 charges. They could have been more severe, I suppose, but the DA looked at what he had in front of him, and these were the charges. Tell us about these 2 charges.
Yeah, so it's sort of a mixed bag for Mr. Jacobs. Obviously, he should be very happy he's not charged with felonies as he was originally arrested for, but obviously these are still very serious criminal cases. These are misdemeanors. So he's charged with 1 count of battery and 1 count of criminal damage to property. So these still have very severe consequences for him, but certainly much less than if it was the felony that the original arrest came out of.
Jonathan, this happened on May 23rd. Is it normal for it to take all this time up until August 27th to get a charging document?
Yeah, there's nothing normal in my business, but I will tell you I've had a chance to review the criminal complaint, and the district attorney's office says that the reason why it was delayed is because they did forensic evaluations of electronic devices, including security systems. When that occurs, that takes a longer period of time than just, reviewing certain other pieces of evidence. So it makes sense to me that it delayed because of all the forensic work that was done in this case.
Jonathan Lavoie is with us. Julie and I also each have a copy of the criminal complaint that we're holding. Let's walk through a little bit of the criminal complaint. You look at these all the time, and you defend folks that are charged, and this document is like part of your life all the time. When you read the narrative in here, what jumps out at you in this criminal complaint?
Well, these kinds of fights happen all the time, so it's very common for me to see fights over jealousy and over phones and over texting girls or guys and those types of things. So this is pretty standard that could obviously happen to anyone, including, a professional football player. But what I think stands out at me is the video evidence might be very helpful to the prosecution in this case, because it's not going to be just Mr. Jacobs' words versus the victim, but there may be some video evidence that would say support what the girl is claiming occurred. So I think the video evidence is going to be very damaging to Mr. Jacobs, depending on how clear the video evidence really is.
So what is next? So he's supposed to appear in court on November 17th.
Yeah, so all criminal cases start with like an initial appearance, which is like a bail hearing where they will set probably a signature bond for him. He'll be released. He will not be taken into custody or held in custody. Then the matter is set over for several court dates while the attorneys kind of work through exchanging discovery, police reports, evidence, and then negotiations occur. And, the parties have to report back to the judge and let the judge know, is this a case that's going to work out with a plea bargain or an agreement, or is this going to be a trial case? So that process can take several months, and either Mr. Jacobs is going to take some kind of a plea deal or he's going to set the matter for trial.
Jonathan Lavoie is with us. We don't know if she's still cooperating or not. She was on the phone with police. How much more difficult is this case or any case if the victim decides not to cooperate?
And oftentimes in these types of cases, victims are hesitant to cooperate. So it makes the case much better for the defense if the victim is hesitant or uncooperative. But as we talked about, the video evidence might, tip the scales in favor of the prosecution, and they may not need as much cooperation from the alleged victim if all of this stuff is on video. And quite frankly, from the NFL's perspective, if the video looks really bad, that's the kind of stuff that shows up on TMZ and other websites, and that could be very harmful to Mr. Jacobs' football career. When I'm referring to the video evidence that might be present.
Yeah, and that's what's making me think, is he going to do a plea deal? Well, if he does, then he's finding guilt, and how many more games could he be suspended? But no matter what, would that video be released?
I think the video is absolutely going to be released. It's going to be public record. I'm assuming it's not going to be released immediately, but I'm certain that all the various media outlets are requesting all the discovery, and it's going to be public record fairly soon. So I expect it to be released. You guys should know that these types of cases, misdemeanor domestic disputes like this, typically don't result in serious jail time or anything like that. Usually for a first offense, these types of cases result in probation or counseling programming, those types of things. So in the grand scheme of things, this is probably not something that there's going to be a likelihood of jail time for. But I think the circumstances for Mr. Jacobs is bigger than just that because of his NFL career.
What goes into the decision by prosecutors to charge it as a felony or a misdemeanor? Can you walk through that dynamic?
Yeah, the felonies have just a higher burden of proof. So there was an initial thought that there may have been some kind of a strangulation situation, and they would have to prove that Mr. Jacobs, placed his hands or items around the victim's neck and caused her difficulty with breathing. I'm assuming the state just found that they didn't have sufficient proof for that and probably didn't want to make it more complicated than they needed to. There's discretion. The prosecutors can look at a person and say, yes, well, there may have been the potential of a felony because Mr. Jacobs has no record and he's a good member of the community and was cooperative, that there wasn't a need to charge a felony. So I think the state decided it's probably just easier to charge what's clear on the video and not try to charge things that might be more difficult to prove, particularly if the victim's not cooperative.
And he's a Packer. This is the elephant in the room.
That's what I was gonna say.
And social media is going crazy. I know that the Brown County District Attorney, if we had him on, would say that has nothing to do with this. I look at what I can prove. I look at the evidence, blah, blah, blah. You're a realist, Jonathan. Does that become a factor in a place like Brown County?
Heck, yeah. I know David Lassay, and I've dealt with him before, and I know he's in an awful position. He has a duty to prosecute cases he thinks he can prove, but he understands that he is a Packer and that this puts everyone in a tough position. So he's in just an awful position as the district attorney for Brown County, and I think everyone's hoping that this goes away quickly and quietly and this doesn't become a huge issue for the Packers or for the Brown County District Attorney's Office, and hopefully they can work it out in some quick way that everyone can move on from this.
How do big organizations, Jonathan, get involved in this? I mean, can they ask or go to the defense or the prosecution, the defense attorney or the Brown County District Attorney and say, hey, we're doing this NFL investigation. Can we see it before it goes to trial, or can they not get that?
Yeah, so everything now that the case is charged is absolutely open for public record. So anyone can get it, including you guys. So this is now open records that are available to everyone, including the NFL. The NFL probably was not entitled to it until the charging decision was made, but now it's been charged, and I'm assuming the NFL is going to get access to all of the evidence, as I'm assuming the media will as well.
How bad do you think this is for him if he was your client? I mean, just professionally, not even anything else.
Well, so many people get into disputes at their home, but as I think what I mentioned to you is video evidence of people acting badly is very, very harmful to professional athletes, and we see it because it's shared on the internet. It's shown on TMZ. It just doesn't go away. So I think that video evidence is going to be very damaging to him. And the case itself is not that big of an issue for him. I think it's going to result in the NFL taking some type of action here. But I think it's important to note that they did not charge him with domestic abuse-related offenses. I don't know if you guys noticed that. When you look at the charges, he's charged with standard battery and standard criminal damage to property. He's not charged with domestic violence or domestic abuse-related offenses. And I think his attorneys are going to try to spin that to make him look better in the eyes of the public.
He is Jonathan Lavoie. We appreciate it, Jonathan. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Let's check the markets. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The NASDAQ up 411 today, 1.5%. The Dow is up 106 points. That's 0.2%. The S&P 500 today climbed 55 points. It was up 0.75%. Annex Wealth Management, financial planning at every level. Know the difference with Annex.
Get your final August plans in for Brewers Rangers Action Friday, August 28th through Sunday the 30th. Starting with the Cole Swindell postgame concert at Country Music Night on Friday, featuring a belt buckle with a special ticket. Then it's Jackson Churio Mania. Get the Churio Bowl giveaway Saturday, courtesy of 620 WTMJ. And get it on the Final Kids Cheer Free Sunday before summer ends. Kids get a Churio Hike poster on Sunday, courtesy of Joy. Get tickets for it all at Brewers.com.
John Mercure, WTMJ, Griffin Ford, Waukesha, 2 days of big savings and a great time. Check this out. Saturday, August 29th and Labor Day only. Choose from Griffin Ford's huge selection of new and used vehicles. New vehicles are priced to move and used vehicles start at just $995. Buy a vehicle on either day and drive home with your choice of a 55-inch flat screen TV or a $250 grocery gift card. Would I take the 55 flat screen or the $250 grocery card? I'm going TV. Take a test drive. Are you going groceries?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's true. We already have nice TVs. But Griffin gives you the choice. And if you take a test drive at Griffin, you receive a free metal tumbler, and they're pretty nice. On Saturday, enjoy a food truck on site while you shop. Don't miss incredible deals at Griffin Ford in Waukesha. The savings, giveaways, and special offers are available on Saturday and Labor Day only. Visit Griffin Ford today and drive home happy. It's Griffin.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spiritware is vital. That's why Burkhart Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spiritware from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spiritware and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhart.
You can't beat Burkhart.
Kessler's Diamonds. Kessler's Diamonds.
Recently, a seller that unfortunately ended up choosing another agent called me. She said she made a mistake, and what she was expressing to me sounded like she kind of was bullied into signing with him. Is it typical? Not always, but it will never happen when you hire a Century 21 Benefit Realty agent. I want our agents to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'd want to work with me. Not because they're good at saying what you want to hear or offer the lowest commission, but because of trust. Because if you're not feeling that from your agent, that's a problem. And I don't want that. At 1.9% on the listing side of your sale with our commission capped at $19,000, Century 21 Benefit Realty leads with a very fair and transparent commission structure with maximum marketing that can get your home sold fast and for the best price. And saving money matters, but working with someone who will tell you exactly what you need to know up front, that creates trust. And that matters too. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
When you come to our showroom, you'll find more than a dozen glass shower door displays. Now that's what you're going to want to see, because browsing a bunch of options usually spurs ideas that you've never even thought of. And when you walk around with one of our glass shower door experts, you can ask questions and get assurance. We're here to help. And after nearly 50 years in the glass shower door business, there's not a whole lot we haven't seen. So don't worry, your project's about to be put in the very best of hands. At Les's Glass Service, you can count on our experience that makes it easy to promise top-flight installation. Glass shower doors are our specialty, and we're out there humping it every day to add to our portfolio to make the next project even better than the last. This is Stacy Sinks. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
Want to watch all your favorite WTMJ shows? Check out the WTMJ YouTube channel. Live streams of all your favorite WTMJ shows, from Wisconsin's morning news to what's on tap. See breaking news as it happens. Get involved with the action in the chat on Brewers Extra Innings, or see all the cool tools on the Fix-It Show. Missed your favorite show? We've got past live streams and interview highlights too. Subscribe to 620 WTMJ. Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: former Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo facing new charges.
I'm Julia Fellow. A Packers running back to appear in court.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound on 41, still heavy from Good Hope Road to Silver Spring. On the northbound side, backups from Burleigh all the way to Silver Spring as well. Southbound on the bypass from the zoo down and around the Hale interchange does not really let up till you get past Loomis. On the westbound side, backing up out of the Mitchell interchange all the way to 51st. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Mainly clear tonight, a low of 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 81. Right now in Milwaukee, it is 71 degrees.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, 3 new charges are filed against former Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo following his arrest on suspicion of operating while intoxicated in Milwaukee last month.
Where are you coming from?
The golf course. And I'm going to meet Grandma and Grandpa.
Court documents show Romo is now charged with first offense operating while intoxicated, unsafe passing on the right side, and possessing open intoxicants in his vehicle. Romo had been given a citation in July for refusing to take an intoxication test after his arrest. He's due in court on September 21st.
The Brown County District Attorney formally charges Packers running back Josh Jacobs following a domestic incident at his residence that took place back in May.
According to the criminal complaint, surveillance video from Jacobs' garage shows he grabbed his girlfriend and threw her to the ground, causing her to strike her head. Jacobs then took her phone. She stayed on the ground for a while before struggling to walk back into the house. Jacobs is charged with 1 count of misdemeanor battery and 1 count of misdemeanor criminal damage to property. Each charge carries a maximum penalty of 9 months in jail and a $10,000 fine. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Jacobs is due in court November 17th.
And his case relies heavily on video evidence. Criminal defense attorney Jonathan Lavoie says that could favor the prosecution. He tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News how the defense might strategize.
When you look at the charges, he's charged with standard battery and standard criminal damage to property. He's not charged with domestic violence or domestic abuse-related offenses. And I think his attorneys are going to try to spin that to make him look better in the eyes of the public.
Lavoie adds that if Jacobs is convicted, it's more likely he would face probation instead of jail time.
We are now learning air traffic controllers left work early just before a deadly collision involving an airplane at LaGuardia Airport, New York. News Nation's Nicole Burley.
It happened at LaGuardia in March when an Air Canada jet struck a fire truck, killing both pilots and injuring 40 others. Air traffic controllers were at the center of the incident. A spokesperson with the FAA says the agency is committed to holding employees accountable and will not compromise the safety of airspace.
The National Transportation Safety Board continues to investigate this crash. The agency's final report is likely not to be published for another 6 months.
President Trump says he's renaming Lake Ontario to Lake America as a trade war with Canada escalates. He signed an executive order to update the lake's name for the U.S. Geographic Naming Service. Trump had been floating the idea after the U.S. announced it was imposing 50% tariffs on Canadian goods.
But they treat us very badly. Canada treats us very badly. I would say that of all countries, people oftentimes, they'll ask me, who's the worst to deal with on trade? And I said, that's easy, Canada. They are the worst to trade. And they feel entitled, and just we can't have that.
Trump cannot force Canada to rename the lake on its side. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 5:33. We're on top of the Josh Jacobs story. The best way to stay in touch is to go to WTMJ.com or the WTMJ mobile app. We also have great interviews on the Wisconsin Afternoon News podcast page. Text WAN to 855-616-1620. WAN, and you can get all that information. Brewers baseball, Miz on the mound. That's up next on WTMJ.
Every tailgate has one. One person who brings the grill. One person with the long games. One who's convinced this is the year. But everyone